Nope. Oh god. Alright,
Okay.
hello everyone! Woo! Oh, we're looking great! I love that. Alright. No camera work needed.
Great.
Fabulous.
Go
It's
team.
like we know what we're doing.
That's a damn lie.
That was within the first minute.
Oh, no, because we were waiting to come on for
Yeah,
it's 5 minutes.
technically we're 4.5 minutes in. So.
There we go.
Alright, Evan, take us away with some legal shit.
Cool. So, first of all, welcome back to our stream, everybody. Good to have you here. Today we're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons set in the Elder Scrolls universe. Elder Scrolls is owned, operated, created by all of that everything by Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, ZeniMax. They own all the rights to that. And the module that we are playing in, Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition, is owned by Wizards of the Coast. So any stuff that we're doing is provided by them. We're not selling anything extra.
We don't have merch yet.
Yep, that is pretty much that.
We are not monetized.
Quick announcement. We don't have Thickick with us today. My little brother Daniel, who plays Thickick, is down in Colorado Springs doing his final piano recital for his piano performance associate's degree.
Oh yeah, Dan.
So
Good luck, Dan.
He's going to be going
Good luck,
to
Dan.
CU
Tickling
Pueblo
memories.
starting next fall to get his 4-year degree in piano performance. So this is like his...
What a loser!
Hey.
Higher education, loser. We are
This
proud
is-
of our friend.
This is a big step towards that. So yeah, he is actually an accomplished bard, unlike his bard.
I was
I was
calling
saying to you
Thick the
yesterday,
loser.
just like,
That's right.
he's useless. I love it.
He's our best character, but our worst character at the same time.
I think that's it from my end. Unless
great.
our host has anything.
I would like to thank Alec for getting here early today, helping set up, and helping with some of the audio design for the stream today, because I only know so much of what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
Great. Of course, Kira for hosting us, who is, taking care of...
Dealing with
Small
everything.
children.
She has little Lord.
Taking
Yes.
care of host
What
things.
Hello, small children.
That's our other campaign.
So,
I can't just it'll fuck me up.
I
couldn't listen to Gogo Bordello today at work, even though like I wanted to, because that's all I listened to yesterday. But no, it'll force me to do that accent way too much.
All right.
Just do the robot voice. That'll be perfect.
Cool.
Cool. So, we're gonna wait for Kira to get back real quick. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Just small children.
Small Breton babies.
Oh, yeah. Here's something to fill the time. Alec, for Kat's belated birthday, got her this lovely little dice jail. Wish her luck and
Dude,
keep that jail empty tonight.
My dice were like really pushing their luck because like I would consistently roll low when I was like practice rolling or whatever. I was like, okay, you know, one more shot, and then it'd be like an 18, 19, 20. I'd be like, testing me. Testing me.
You have one more shot.
Well, you were testing
Don't
them
test the
first.
warden.
So.
Warden
So-
will put you in jail.
And that was like consistent with
Huh.
Zalzich's dice. So like, see, yeah, 4, 8.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no. Maybe I ran out their luck.
Oh, we also have some new figures, right?
Do we?
No.
For use?
Dahlia.
Dahlia? No,
For
I'm,
Dahlia.
Other campaign.
no, I'm talking like
Miniatures?
Stendar.
Oh, those
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Idiot.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know.
He's
Yeah.
got it.
It'll be showing up at some point.
Yeah.
A little
Shrine
Shrines to the
figures.
divine.
There they go. Shrine to the divine.
But if you consider these at scale, it's like a 15-foot obelisk.
Yeah. Here's Alset. There's the shrine.
Okay, so to go ahead, catch us back up on where we were now that Kira's back. In the last session, everybody made a break for it out of North Point after the guards gave chase to a newly labeled criminal known as Alset. There was also a little bit of a hullabaloo with Sam, who revealed that he was not being quite truthful with a lot of things that were said and testing his traveling companions. Zalzich responded in kind aboard the Dawnstrider by giving him a wake-up call as a spider. Welcome to level 2 druid, Zalzich. Good to have you at the table.
I'm actually a druid now. Yeah. I'm a real druid.
The crew elected to travel straight for Oridon with Cainith's new ship in tow, the
He got a
Apollo.
boat.
Woo!
He got a boat.
He got a boat. And Cainith taught a few of his fellow crew members how to sail it, so the unnamed guild following the Keepers of the Clockwork Wheel now have their own means of transportation as they're heading into their contracted area. For those of you who remember from episode 1, that would be the Iliad city of Alfaunest, which is on the Isle of Ordon, a recently unearthed treasure. Yeah, where we left off, the crew of the Dawnstrider and the Apollo had just been sailing in towards a cove to lay anchor when they looked up and saw an entire flight of dragons coasting overhead, headed further inwards towards the main Isle of Somerset, ostensibly towards Alinor, the capital of the Isles. Seeing that they bypassed Oridon, they decided it was safe to lay anchor and continue on to the beach, and that is exactly where we left off, with you landing and making your way inland.
Great.
I think it's impossible to use the term "making your way" without thinking of that Michelle Branch song.
Making my way downtown.
Walking fast.
Okay, do we have
Sorry.
copyright is that
You know, I
song?
did
Under
it.
30 seconds.
Okay.
6
Also
seconds.
not Michelle
6?
Branch,
Oh,
so.
huh. Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah, it's not.
I think we flew past that copyright there by saying the wrong artist.
Oh, it's not her.
I think it's been not Vanessa Hudgens.
No.
Carlton. Vanessa Carlton.
Vanessa
That's it.
Carlton.
Anyway,
The
which
Game Room's had a whole
direction?
thing about that.
Which direction is Alinor from Ardon?
So you all landed on kind of the northish, eastish side of Ardon, and Alinor is way west on another island entirely.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. The scene before you is a white sandy beach with crystal clear waters with just a hint of blue from the reflective sky above. There is a little bit of cloud cover, but it is being swept away by the still trailing end of dragons cutting through the very clouds themselves. They don't seem to be paying you any notice, though, as they just sail directly above the forests further inland and headed west.
As this is going on, Arbjorn will come out of the deck in the Dawn Strider from the first level. He has a new haircut.
Oh.
He's got kind of the haircut similar to mine,
That's what you've been doing this whole time?
Yeah.
Cutting your hair?
but it's much yeah. It's much longer.
3 weeks.
Better
It's,
be a damn good hair.
yeah, so it's much longer. It's kind of braided, and it goes down to a single braid down, basically just past his neckline, and that reveals 2 Nordic dragons tattooed on the side of his head, and a bear Nordic tattoo on the back of his head. He makes his way up to the top of the ship, or to where the wheel would be in the back, and he's got a bear totem, burning sage, and some flowers, some mountain flowers. And as he sets everything up, he kind of takes each flower, kind of crumples it over the sage, says something, and throws it off. He does that 5 times. And that's the intro for Ardgore.
Wow.
Okay.
That was deep.
Samael, who's sitting there watching the helm with the soul gem mounted at it, is just kind of watching this curiously, looking back up at the dragons, looking back to Arbjorn. Well, you don't seem bothered at all, do you?
You know, I've seen many dragon where I come from.
That's fair. I haven't. I'm going inland.
Fine.
Don't want to fireball the ship?
Okay, great, cool.
Okay, so
Chirp, chirp.
I'm gonna just keep it moving forward.
Yeah.
How
Cool.
many dragons?
Dozens.
A lot.
have been flying
A lot.
overhead.
What are you doing here on Oregon?
This was to get to the city of Alfaunest. That was your main goal from session 1.
Yeah.
Let's head there.
Recovering
Alfaunest.
Yeah,
On
it's
mission.
a Iliad ruin
Weapon of many
deeper
uses.
into the island, kind of halfway between Skywatch and a ruin from the Second Era that now no longer holds the name. Kind of on the center point of the island between the 2 major cities, First World and Skywatch. And you all take your quick trip via rowboat, also guided by Soul Gem, onto shore, and disembark quickly with Samael pulling out a map of the isle, showing you whereabouts you're headed. And it is through a large swath of jungle.
Fun. Yay, jungle.
It's real, right?
Oh, yes, this one I assure you is quite real.
I was making a joke. Huh.
So I guess you lead then?
I know it is. I know it's okay.
Makes sense.
Make
I
sure
guess
that
he's
my
leading.
armor's all equipped and got all my stuff with me. To go
Candace
venturing
taking the lead
along.
through this?
Yeah, like I would know terrain of this island. Like I'm from
Yeah,
there.
fairly well. So where you're just kind of like, yep, that's the woods. Just like, looking out your back porch and there's some trees. Like the rest of you, it's kind of Alice in Wonderlandy. There's like blue bark and purple and red leaves that come down on the weeping willows. There's, massive oaks that seem to be lined, like the veins in the bark itself are electric blue, almost beaming with magic.
That's cool.
There's coral that actually stands up on the forest banks of rivers.
Could
And
I try to attune myself to the ley line within those trees?
There's no lines.
No magic
No.
that I could attune to?
No, it's just not really how magic works in.
Fair enough.
Elder
I wasn't
Scrolls.
sure if there's
Yeah, magic comes from the sun
Great.
in Elder Scrolls. No ley lines to mess with unless they're artificially
I'm gonna
made.
pluck one of those leaves and just like press it, like plant press it in the book then.
Okay. Easily enough. What color leaf? Just for chats and
I'll do a purple one.
Okay.
Why not? Press it in the book, and I'll just hold it there and see what happens later.
Okay. So as you march deeper inland, Samael kind of pulls everyone aside and looks upwards, and he did set off at a fairly brisk pace.
Want to get away from the dragons, huh, Sam?
Yes, I did actually.
Same.
I mean, I'm familiar with beasts of that size, but not quite so many of them at one time.
Well, so long as they don't have 8 legs.
What could they possibly be doing?
Well, the last reports I had, a young woman that knows how to talk to them was heading down Alinor Way to have some debates.
I hope they burn it all down. So let's go.
Show respect. She's Dovahkiin.
Oh, I mean the utmost respect. She'd probably shout me limb from limb if I gave her half a chance to. I hope I don't. Ever. So, a little bit more on the nature of our journey through the Isle itself. Alfaunest is about a day's march inland, so we'll be doing hard walking across lots of forests. People with good eyes, please keep them on everything.
What's
Holy
this?
crap, I
I'm
need a
half
character
blind,
sheet
you
out.
say?
What was that?
What's this? I'm half blind, you say?
Now, for the purposes of the day, I figure we go at a hard march until nightfall, then pull off, make camp, and then we'll make the rest of the journey tomorrow. Should arrive by evening of our second day. Quick in and out. Everybody good for it?
Sure.
Aye.
Let's do it.
This is actually going much easier than I expected. I was really worried that we'd have to deal with Thalmor port authorities.
Huh.
It seems like
You and
Dovahkiin
port
take care.
authorities.
I walk to the nearest tree and knock on it a couple times.
Don't even worry.
You motherfucker.
Shrouds don't
Does
come this
anyone
far,
wanna-
no.
There's something up with those trees.
Or
They're
I
very
also
pretty.
can extend our guard our
Perception.
passage and bless us with protection.
I just want them. I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
not
take
gonna
like a little
touch
shot.
them. I don't
I'll
want to
keep
get
it.
the.
I'll keep an eye out for like a
poison
tree
out.
acorn or
Poison
whatever.
oak.
Make
Right.
a religion check. Else.
Awesome.
Other A name.
My modifier. Sorry, it should be something awesome.
So yeah, there are 3
But I rolled a 5, and that's an 8.
Okay.
Stendar is not so happy with me with things like that recently. So.
Alright, Kenneth. You should take point.
You know, that makes sense.
Take the rear.
I'll
I'll
be
stay
in the middle. Okay.
We can be in the middle together. It's a line.
Okay. So
I'll be in the back, I guess.
I'm in the far back.
Yeah, I don't think you're letting me behind.
Or we could move as like a formation instead of linear file.
This is jungle.
Yeah.
we have a guide and we have a ranger with us. I don't think trying to do tactical formations is exactly what we need to be doing. I
Okay.
think we can sort of gaggle it. You know, there's no trails to really show us any way. I have a map and I have a compass, and we have Mr. Kenneth here, who is a native.
Adept.
You know, these souls like the back of my hand. We'll be alright here, guys. things might change a little bit from our time, but can't much really. Terrain change and
900 years.
not thinking all that much.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay.
As you all march deeper into the jungles of Ordon's coastline, you kind of take a quick peek around and notice Sarah has slipped off into the brush and is making her way kind of in circles around the party. Yeah, that's how I'm going to play that.
I'm down with that. Meets back up with us every once in a while.
Great.
Do you also notice that you have not seen Zalzeech since getting off the boats?
Oh, really?
Everybody check your pockets.
Why? Zalzeech is much
I
bigger
want
than
to
my pockets.
investigate my pack and pockets to
Same.
see if there is any sort of creature.
Same
Roll an
here.
investigation
Same.
check.
Zalzeech is bigger than your pockets.
I look
though.
in my bag of holding, very scared.
what was that check? Investigation?
Oh no, I don't want to get lost in the bag of holding. I never thought about
That's an
that.
18. I got a 13.
Are you wearing your large?
Oh yeah,
Heavy armor?
I've got my plate armor equipped. I made
Okay.
sure to have that on me before I left the boat.
Alset's
Okay.
looking at you like all your idiots and have just gone crazy by looking for Zalzeech in
You
tiny
got a
pockets.
13
Yes.
and
Gonna look
18.
up.
18.
Yeah.
I got a
Alset's
5.
the one who doesn't
Got a
know.
5. Looking up, roll a perception check.
Also, I love how you have
You borrow a D20.
more armor class than the tank.
Yep.
But
Spent a third of my winning.
Then again, I've been gone for 2 sessions, so
Yeah, that's a 4.
Okay,
Four?
I'll be back.
Okay.
I got a lot. I got a couple.
what did you turn
axes,
into?
Crossbows.
It was a lizard.
Lizard.
Yeah,
Okay.
a small lizard.
As
Tiny
you are
ones.
checking your like pack and reaching through your pockets and kind of like just clinking around in general, a small tree lizard, bright green, you know, maybe 2-3 inches long, just kind of up the shoulder of your armor onto your neck.
Hi.
It's a lot easier for you to travel this way, right? Okay.
Can't talk in that form. Sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You can't sell me insurance yet.
Is that poisonous? Did it bite you? Are you okay?
It's Zalzeech.
Zalzeech is a bigger lizard.
You want me to punch him? Can I roll to attack for an unarmed strike against Alset?
Sure.
Yeah, I missed.
I'm gonna give
No,
you like a
no,
little
wait,
shoulder
how-
and be like, good one.
Just go to smack you upside the head, and you're just like, whoop.
It's kind of
Kind of icy it.
hits a tree. Nice little metallic ring to it. Which, speaking of,
Pat,
Okay.
pat.
Also, Arbjorn is kind of. He's not right behind the party. He's couple feet back.
Good.
Just to keep an eye, make sure if anybody's behind, he can swoop in behind them.
okay. So with everybody now accounted for, you see Sarah making another lap back around to intersect as she's running basically figure eights through the forest around the party, keeping a long patrol on.
And she leaves it.
I'm watching Tiny Goblins. So.
You're good. You're good. It fits the character. Can I get some perception checks from everybody?
Oh,
Do we want to do descending numbers or
Just go around the
That's
table.
go around
wisdom
the table?
based.
I got a 14.
7.
0.
19.
2. It's wisdom based?
Yeah.
22.
19,
I'm
22.
gonna keep a
Okay.
check of that because that's
So
the fifth one.
Zalzeet, are you going after your lizard?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still a lizard. And I get whichever's higher, so.
Oh, you get
lizard's
whichever's higher.
Yeah.
Okay. The lizard's higher than Zalzeech's wisdom?
Maybe, I don't
That's
know.
one
Probably.
blind.
Yeah. Aren't you proficient in perception?
This character? No. I'm
Really?
proficient in nature. That's
Okay.
what I chose. So it's the same either way.
Okay.
Because it's +5 for both.
So, Kenneth
I lied, it's a 9. That doesn't really help, but.
from the front and Zalzeech from Asia's shoulder, you notice as you're walking through these coral and gaudily colored forests there is a line of vines that seems to be arcing out, darting along tree to tree, slithering across the undergrowth, masked mostly by the footprints of the group, or footsteps of the group, but not to your keen senses.
So there's
I
vines.
immediately jump off of Asia's shoulder onto one of the vines.
One of the vines that's moving.
Oh, they're moving? No, never mind. I didn't know they were moving. I didn't see. I didn't hear that they were.
How
moving.
high above us is this happening?
It's along the ground.
Oh, moving vines.
Yeah,
That's
it's like quick little darting snakes made out of bark and ivy.
I can burn them all down.
You don't know they're there.
I know I don't, but
I stick my tail in Asia's ear.
Why? Why?
I'm like staring at the ground at him.
Make another perception check at advantage.
13. 16.
Now with the help of Zalzich to
Died my
track
focus.
him down, you can see that one of the vines at the it seems like just kind of a standard little creeper cluster or like mistletoe hanging off of a tree, but it's slowly wrapping itself up one of the big legs of this. The coral here, they kind of have like arched legs, arched spindly legs, and it's making itself up the stony surface of one of those roots.
Okay. Nature check?
To figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a nature check.
Nat 20, 21.
Okay, you understand that
Good books.
Good books, yeah.
from your divine teachings within the temple, you know that Kinnereth often breathes life into the matriarchal Spriggans of the forest. And this looks a little bit like that kind of magic.
So when you punch the trigger,
But mostly Spriggans have either orange or bright green magic flow to them. You notice that these vines are kind of a muddy purple hue in their glow.
I'm not a muddy purple.
thank you.
You're about to be.
I ask Kenneth about his knowledge and what do you know about how acquainted are you with Spriggans?
Well, fuck.
Are you not that kind of acquainted with Spriggans? Just what is your experience with?
Got wrapped up in the vines a couple of times, but
I'm gonna, with my tongue, just kind of like slap you on the cheek, like you're just keeping digging yourself in this hole.
I do that. I do that a lot.
what sort of information would I be able to recall to like relay to the party that could possibly?
They're generally in
Real shitty
the
question.
Somerset Isles. Spriggans aren't exactly common. And looking at the vines, you've seen about 3 Spriggans in your lifetime on the Isles, and they've all been very rare from very far away, and one of them heralded the return of a Bosmer king of the forests. So this isn't normal, and you, based on what you've seen of the vines, that's not what the Spriggans you've seen look like.
Yeah, they don't seem normal colored. This one's all purpley. From what I know, they're not.
Sounds not
Purple.
right, guy. This is something big going on. What's the name of the place we're going?
Alfaunest.
I need to write shit down, but I
How
don't.
do you spell?
Alfaunest.
autocorrect tried to change that to Alfonso, just so you know.
Yeah.
Go
I said-
Alfonso.
I actually spelled
We're
that
talking
right,
about
except I said
Alfonso.
AST instead of EST, so I'm
Ah.
proud of myself.
Would Arburin be versed in Spriggans? Would he have at least seen them?
Would
Yeah,
Elvira?
but
Would Elsa know anything about Spriggans?
you wouldn't necessarily have much of a clue as to
Yeah.
the difference between different
No.
kinds of Spriggans and whatnot, because you're not trained in either history or nature, are you?
No.
No.
That's a -1 for me.
Would Elsa possibly know anything random, or too secluded of a life?
No.
Okay.
Not based on what's in the black book, no.
Based on an empty black book?
I will, knowing Kinnereth being one of the 9 divines, also I guess not necessarily pray to Kinnereth, but
Like guidance or
yeah, just kind of through me being a priestess of Stendar, just extend my worship of the divines from Stendar specifically out to.
Are you using a channel divinity option for this?
Do I have that? Is that a thing?
Part of your cleric stuff.
So, I would definitely relay the information about this
Well,
being
I've
like
preserved life and turn undead. That's not really.
this being like a big deal, and like
Yeah.
that the only time I've only really seen these guys is like the coming of that king. So, it must mean
The Wilder King, by the way, is the
okay.
Yeah.
event that you saw it on.
And that we probably I would imagine that they were protecting the grounds, for the Spriggans there to protect the land.
Yeah, the one that you saw in relation to the Wilder King back in Valenwood during your time in Second Era. That was the Spriggan that you saw was a herald come to the Isles of the Wilder King. So it was
Okay.
something that came from Valenwood across the sea.
Shit.
I'm just gonna pray to Kinnereth, basically.
Okay, make a religion check.
And
At disadvantage.
makes sense. It's gonna be 12. Just to acknowledge Kinnereth's presence and knowing that that they have sort of a domain over this, and to just acknowledge them and pay respect to their domain, and as a follower of Stendar.
Okay. Noted.
Dope.
Yeah, and then I'll just throw some leaves in the air and do a little. Hey, thanks God. And,
You afraid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Time?
Yeah, you pick one.
thanks God.
Thanks, God.
Oh my gosh.
And
Hey,
From
guys,
Maris Mora.
It's me, Kenneth, again.
Write down something in the book.
and then just kind of basically
What?
in doing that means asking for some sort of safe travels or whatever, and we're gonna head deeper into the woods. I would think, unless you guys are trying to fight this spring.
Let's keep
I don't want to antagonize.
I'm gonna say no, because most of us are still level 1, so
Yeah.
well, some of us.
I don't want to set the forest on fire.
Yeah, Mr. Earth.
Yeah,
Name.
okay.
Do you have a helm on?
I'm wearing full plate.
With a helmet?
I would imagine that I have a helmet with this armor.
Just asking.
Evan-san.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full plate includes a helmet.
Yep.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm giving you guys a quick reference map.
No worries.
Great. Would somebody hit the light?
The starlight?
Yes.
This is the Isle of First Hold, its basic shape. You all docked up in this corner.
Okay.
And Alfaunest is kind of in the middle of the aisle there. Yes, it looks like a drunken cucumber banana thing.
Got it.
That's not my first thought, but you know, whatever.
We're not gonna go there.
Honestly, I thought sea slug.
It's not
Those
also
are called
not my
slow.
first thought.
The island is happy to see it.
It doesn't look happy.
We're happy.
Wow.
You have 2 kids.
I mean, hey, Hermaeus Mora knows just how much you love Stendar. You.
But yeah, to
Yes.
give you just kind of a basic idea of what you're looking at as far as travel time, it is going to be a day and a half of slogging it through just really dense jungles. Lots and lots and lots of not bugs necessarily, but carnivorous plants in certain places, and lots of birds of prey that are as tall as you.
That happened.
Great. I'm ready.
Where's our super heavy orc when you need him?
How deep are we into the forest
Asleep.
already?
Got a big Nord.
Also, you guys have been traveling for about an hour when you notice those vines
Oh,
following along.
my wild shape would have dropped by then. This wild shape only lasts an hour.
Should just like appear in on my shoulder. Flop.
So
Oh,
under an
small
hour,
lizard
so I
turned
don't
into
have to
big
retcon
lizard.
Anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, 55 minutes is when you guys notice the vines. Are you gonna react to them at all, or just keep thinking about them?
I don't. Do I technically know that they're still here? Or did
I
you
don't
announce
think
it
we
to
should
everyone?
antagonize them.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
Keep pushing
like
forward.
we know
respect, and we
when
have
we know
a
the
destination
direction
to be.
that they're like writhing towards. Are they all writhing
They seem to
towards
be
one
following
centralized
you.
location? They're following us.
Are they following us or chasing us?
It's a good distinction.
There is a distinction.
Well, we could try to move faster and see if they keep up.
Yeah, no, we should pick up a pace.
Yeah, let's pick up the pace.
Okay.
Brisk walk.
I'll just start walking.
At this point, Arbjorn closes the gap and is within 5 feet of the nearest party member.
I didn't realize that they were like following us. I just thought that they were all over and were wriggling around.
I have a quarterstaff that I'm using as sort of like a walking stick
Hey,
as well.
same.
Arbjorn is very
Yeah, walking
careful
sticks.
to not poke
You guys took
anything
that from me.
with his sword.
Bitches.
So he's very carefully
I forgot I
kind
had
of
it.
walking like this with his
We
sword.
were at sea for
still
so
out,
long,
but behind
and
the
in
shield.
cities. Used it
Not
all the way to
looking
Riften.
big.
trusty stick.
I've had this stick the whole time. Thank you.
My
As you
stick
keep
is
going,
smaller
can I get
special.
a perception check?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
absolutely
are they,
fine with that. I just found this
Are
in
they
Skyrim.
all?
Everyone?
The
Perception?
vines are in the trees too, right?
Not the ones that you notice. Those are slithering along the ground.
Cool. Well, then I would like to climb a tree.
Okay.
And
Off you go.
Did you
kinda
say
move
perception check?
Yep.
Along tree limbs and whatnot. 17.
Make yours from advantage, by the way, because you're up.
17.
So perception check.
Perception.
Anybody higher?
19.
7. 7.
15.
8.
9.
So 19 and 7, you said?
7, 8, 9.
So Kenneth, looking up, or looking down from the trees, you notice, yeah, these things are following you. And one of the vines is actually really kind of creepily started to twist itself around roots. And you can't really see where it begins and ends because it seems to blend into every tree it touches as it travels along underneath the branches, following underneath you. And you can see down below just this kind of trail of about 3 or 4 of them. Sarah, you're seeing the same thing as you're kind of winding a figure 8 around the party, unless you've chosen at that point to stay in.
I'm gonna copy Kenneth and I'm gonna start climbing trees because
Okay. I do need an athletics check from you.
Yay, climbs.
Are we being tree people now?
3 cannot quite seem to get a grip as you try to go up.
I
Arbjorn
thought I had it.
would look up at Kenneth and yell, Kenneth, what do your elf eyes see?
That's right. Go.
Well, these guys are definitely coming after us. It looks like there's about 2, 3, maybe even fucking 4 larger ones coming toward. Are they coming towards us?
Yep.
Coming right towards us.
I'm gonna unsheathe my dagger.
And I'm thinking that they're aggressive, so we might want to try to do something about it.
I
Damn.
don't really have any
Okay.
Are there
affinity to
are there any
nature.
rivers
I have nature
nearby?
and survival.
I'll tell them that they're blending into the ground.
You're our guide. I trust your
Should we try? Should
your
we try
gut,
to climb
your
in
instinct.
trees?
Oh, I
I'd
only
rather
climbed
stay
a
on the
tree so
ground.
I could, get some sort of like gauge on, like have some sort of height.
I
Kind
thought
of
I
like
was good. I had a
vertical.
+2 when I was like
Are
really
there
hoping.
are there any rivers nearby?
Not in eyesight, especially given the density of the forest, but some ways out of earshot, you do indeed hear the rushing of a river.
I think we should make a break for river. You can hear it. Maybe they won't cross the water.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's worth a chance.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Better than trying to cross the sewer water. At least this will be clean. I hope.
We'll
My
try not to
is
let you
bad.
go under again.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was my own fault.
Should
yeah.
we run or?
Yeah.
Fast
I
march.
can hold them off for a little bit. You guys go ahead.
I don't want to lose
Barrier.
Lizard Grandma.
I'll be fine.
What are you doing?
Do we need shield?
Just going to lay down a cantrip, like a little area where I saw them kind of like trailing behind us.
Okay.
5-foot cube.
What's the
specifically.
cantrip?
Create bonfire.
Fucking light the woods on fire. God damn it.
just said I wasn't going to.
I don't think
It's
that is very
contained though.
wise.
The fire's contained though.
It also lights anything on fire.
Yeah,
anything
that touches
bonfire.
No.
Oh, not. I'm thinking
No.
campfire.
You're thinking of something else. Bonfire. Oh no. Okay, so no. Bonfire does still ignite flammable objects in its area that aren't being water carried.
Ha.
I mean, but I don't
So
know,
how wet
trees
is this
are
forest?
wet.
Please don't burn down.
Not
the
super.
homelands.
Ordon is kind of a temperate, almost like Mediterranean, just lusher
Great.
kind of vibe to it.
Great.
I guess I won't do that.
Are we still
Yeah, we don't know what else is in these woods.
are we still
so-
marching on, or have we stopped at this conversation?
No, I feel like we're still moving. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
No,
running.
Zalzeet was
Yeah,
staying
I was
behind.
running.
We were running.
Yeah, that I guess didn't happen because it would
Okay.
set the woods on fire. So don't worry about it.
Well, we were going to a river, right?
Yeah.
Let's run.
So knowing what you know
Jump
of that
through.
spell and how it works,
Yeah, I
Zalzeet
know.
thought about
It's
it.
fine.
would Zalzeech do it?
The answer to that is still yes. Being advised by her friends to not to.
Friends who weren't there because they ran ahead.
Yeah, you
No,
told us that
that's
you,
very
you
true.
told us that you
run
had
ahead.
it,
True.
But never mind.
and then we
No.
moved on. So
I did
We
ask-
trusted you.
I
No,
did
it's
ask you if
fine.
you wanted to shield,
Shit.
but you didn't respond,
Not
so
gonna
I
do
left.
Okay. Okay. So you're staying behind, kind of considering it.
Yeah, and then I catch back up.
Okay. As you all start to break into a run through the woods,
Make
With all your
acrobatics checks.
Asia
Little Almost
Almost.
can't handle plates.
dragging behind.
I'm gonna get bigger.
You make
More I do
to
this.
a large break in the trees. It's kind of like a swath that's been cleared out in just a straight line across here. Seemingly by either some kind of man-made or magical effects. The end event being a river that runs through this portion of the forest dotted with large coral boulders. You see that the river is a little bit too wide to just jump across. It's nearly 30 feet. At
How
this.
deep is it? Slash how fast.
You
How
don't know.
fast is it moving?
It's moving very fast from what you can tell. There are white caps, and you see a single rope bridge.
Okay, it doesn't matter how deep it is then.
Rope bridge.
Rope bridge?
No, bitch.
Rope bridge it is.
We need to all go on it at once.
No, bad idea.
Someone needs to hold Asia so she doesn't fall.
Yeah.
I just
I
grabbed
think two
her.
people going on at once.
How
would be
many
worse.
jump distance working
The
out?
little ones first.
Long jump.
It's a 30-foot wide river.
You would need like the jump spell to.
I
even
have the
possible.
jump spell.
Yeah.
Then you could
That's,
possibly. throw it.
10 feet plus your strength modifier.
So if you roll really well.
I just grabbed the back of your plate armor because I'm afraid of losing you in the river.
Thank you.
What's your strength modifier?
Mine. 2.
So that is you.
Yes.
Aurora, this is you.
We're getting miniatures, yay!
Say,
Durka, durka, durka.
Fergus,
We're just gonna
Kenneth,
go
that is
mosey
you.
on over to
You've
this
got
little river.
all set.
He's all set.
Right there. Let's just get the speeders. Right on over.
Argoin, do you have a figure yet?
Huh?
Do you have a figure yet?
I do not.
He's got this big dice.
Got my D20. Look, it's Vladimir.
Yep. D&D gets Lord of the Rings minis. That is Asia. Go ahead and kind of position yourselves around this side of the board, kind of in this section with Zalzich in the back.
Too far.
Well, wherever Asia is, I'm just right behind her, gripping her.
Small lizard turned into big lizard.
I'll be right in front of Zalzich.
What are the things to the left and the right?
Those are
I was
like
hoping that
the
it would land somewhere and I'd be like, that's
are
where I
real
am.
big coral boulders,
Okay.
like chunks
That's how
of
far your jump
coral that have
spell
kind
sent
of
you.
just landed
I was going to
across this,
cast
like,
it on Kenneth, not me.
it's almost like a sandy dirt that's lining this riverbank that looks like the underbrush was just kind of blasted away by something.
And then are those trees or something on the other side?
That is one of those massive coral things. And that is a line of roots that's kind of coming up and out of the river that looks a little bit out of place.
Touchy, touchy.
Evan, did you or
I'm so sad.
Hunter? Did you take a picture of this map?
Yes.
This board. Would you send that to me on Facebook?
Okay. Meanwhile, from the forest that is
I
lying just at the
tagged
border
it.
here.
Put yourself
I
some.
tagged Daltamos in it when I put it on Facebook.
Oh, you did? Fabulous. Thank you.
Okay, this is rough because I imagine I'm a little bit
Are these the vine
further
things?
back.
So there's coral next to us.
Hi, baby.
The last one with 4. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
There we go. Okay. So, as you break into this clearing, you notice that the vines have actually shot past you in a couple of places and kind of surrounded you. And they begin to take form.
Oh boy. And you say we're out of the woods, right?
Yeah, it's like a very harsh clearing.
What?
No musical references.
That wasn't me.
I started it. I'm sorry.
I made it look. I didn't say anything.
Sorry for the cam adjust.
Sorry for taking it from Joe.
We can use fire now.
So yeah, it is a very like harsh break in the wooded area where it's just like this line of trees that has been cleared out, and it goes almost as far as your eye can see, one way to the other.
I just wanted to make sure I'm not still surrounded by forest when I start using my AoE spells.
Are we talking about where we met the river? Is that where the break is? Where's the break at?
The break is
Pretty much
probably
the
like this
entire
way.
map. Yeah. Think of the black borders as tree line.
She is so cute.
So if you will note the new map that we have on the display for the live stream, the party is currently centered around between those two red areas on the top left, north of that river. That rope bridge is indicated by that hatched white and red crossbeam there. We are surrounded on four sides,
Evan is forgetting things.
by what looks like some sort of monsters.
Yeah. As you kind of take a look around you, the vines begin to take shape into a kind of almost humanoid form. They look like Spriggans to those of you who have countered them, which is most of you, except for Alset and Aurora, really.
And I've never read about them.
These things are... Well, no, I guess they did have Spriggans and Cyrodiil.
So just me. Great. Also, it's like mean-looking wooden people.
But yeah, they look worse generally than Spriggans do. You know, they're kind of supposed to be divine guardians filled with the breath of Kine. These things look like they started that way, but came from some sort of horribly blighted plant.
Cool.
Goody.
As soon as Kat gets back, I'll have her roll a check. But can I get a history check from you, Kenneth?
Good luck.
And that's somebody going to the bathroom, everybody. Hope you like that flushing sound, because we're about to flush these false Spriggan down the river.
10 on the history check?
Yes.
Okay. Something about the formation of these Spriggans strikes you as familiar, but you can't quite place why it is that way or where you would have seen those plants. Zelzich, can I get a history check from you, please?
Wisdom?
History.
Well, that's based off wisdom or intelligence?
Intelligence.
15.
15.
My intelligence is only +1.
That is actually enough for you to
Or
kind
16,
of jog your memory. So, looking at these Spriggans that have formed before you, they look blighted and deformed. Like, it started as a Spriggan and was drowned in horrible magics, or it was a Spriggan that took form from a very malign plant. And you remember back to your days during the Second Era, this looks like something that the Bloodthorn cultists made use of. These are not necessarily all tree roots. Somewhere buried deep in the tangle of wood and vine, there was a person. These are Bloodthorn thralls. Things that you fought in your battle against Manamarco many hundreds of years ago.
Cool shit. That's really cool.
That's really cool.
I don't know this as a character, but that is really fucking cool. I will just say.
That's fucking terrifying.
Are these two guys in the back within eyeshot? Like, can I see them?
Yeah.
They're
What?
right on the border. They're right on the border here.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is a little bit larger scale than I've drawn it. So it's basically 1 inch equals 10 feet.
Great.
Gotcha.
But yeah, everything is visible. This is basically what I drew was a quick representation of what is in eyesight for this battle sequence.
I'm gonna flip around and kind of keep in march while walking backward within 5 feet of the party and keep an eye on these guys. See if they advance.
Have Kenneth or Zalzich relayed any of the information that they know of these things to the rest of us at all?
I don't know where I know these things from, so
How
I
far
just
back
like
would I be
Spriggans.
at that
Get that
juncture? I know you just
senile old
explained
age,
that
old
it's
man.
all
You're
bigger than average. I'm
1
probably
inch equals 10 feet, so
Double distance, probably.
I'd say like it looks like 50-ish feet.
Yeah, about 60 feet behind the party.
Okay.
Bear ketchup.
I need to catch up.
yeah, ketchup, mustard.
Mayonnaise!
Relish.
Tapioca.
Wow.
I'm not within shouting distance yet,
yeah, you're in shouting distance.
but I can't. It's hard enough to talk Tamriel as it is.
That's a great point.
This is about as loud as I can go.
Perception check. Can I hear that?
Well, that being said, I would like to cast Detect Poison and Disease on self.
I'm trying to catch up with the party at this point.
Okay.
But being wary of like the monster that I know is here now, knowing what it is.
So I would say you get
Four. There's one right there.
one thing to do to react to run up to the party and tell them before initiative roll.
Because she had stayed back to create the bonfire, I decided to cast it and catch up to the party.
So you can either run up all 60 feet and be with the party, or you can run up and throw something out.
Like a spell?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run up and be with the party.
Okay.
I don't. Blight is a second level spell. I'm so mad.
What is?
Agreed.
Blight.
It's such a powerful spell, but it.
Okay, so Zelzich sprints up.
Behind you guys.
Sorry.
Guys,
Big lizard is coming in.
guys. This is bad. Okay? These things. They're like. They're called Bloodthorn thralls.
That sounds lovely.
Bloodthorn. That sounds so pleasant.
That sounds lovely.
Right? It's really cool, actually.
Fight or flight.
There's Spriggans that have been blighted with like evil magic. So there's like people inside of there
at the
that have
word,
just been like consumed by nature.
at the mention of
Carnivorous
blood
plants,
thralls.
Uh-huh.
You know that the Bloodthorn cult operated out of High Rock, particularly back in the day. And there have been rumors of their continued activity in the Reach, even to this day.
Okay.
So this does spark a poignant point of disgust in you. Okay. So with
Time to get
Zelzich's
that
information
spend
passed, please go ahead and roll for initiative.
Thank you.
No, I don't want that D20. They're big to me.
Right. Fuck.
Do you need me?
Seriously?
Oh,
Initiative doesn't matter. As much.
it's probably good I'm going later.
Yep.
Probably. Yeah, I kind of wish I wasn't going right away, but I'm also fine with it.
Reaction. Whatever.
Yay!
Combat.
Combat.
I get to beat things with an axe.
So you add this.
Yay! We have all of our fighters here. I'm so excited. I don't count Thick.
Except for Thickic.
Yeah. Well,
He's a fighter.
barbarian.
He's a fighter. He'll cross class eventually. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Right now he's a fighter. One day he'll be a barbarian.
Yeah. Right now he's a bard that thinks he's a fighter.
Yep.
Are these undead? Or no?
I think they'd be. Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not that smart.
Okay. 20 to 15.
Oh, 20.
15!
16.
You got a 17.
Hell yeah, druid.
Han's got a 17 if you didn't catch up.
20 is all set. Let's go. 17 is Caneth.
15.
16 is Zelzich. 15 is Arbjorn. Thank you guys.
Get ready,
high
I'll sit.
initiative.
15 to 10.
Go!
11.
Very pink.
Okay. What's your dexterity modifier?
+2.
So you will be before the blights.
Yes.
No,
The
you're,
3 hours on the boat.
What did you roll?
42 plus 4.
Oh, so plus 2.
Yeah, he got right too.
Okay. 10 to 5.
7.
Yep.
No, that's fine because when we get all messed up,
Take my
you can
dice.
That's
You're
how I
like,
felt
yep, that's
going
what I'm
at 1 as Dahlia the other day.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that was so rough, man.
Yeah, you got blasted by fireballs.
My heart broke.
Sarah, okay, what's your initiative? Just so I have the number in case I have to roll extras.
4.
I
have-
Bad dice.
Take your pick.
Oh, my dice are better. Use mine. Mine are
Flip off the
better.
camera.
What? No.
Also,
There's really good testers.
real quick,
Oh.
can I have anybody who is proficient in perception? Good lord, roll a perception check. Just a mountain of dice appeared there.
Oh Jesus! For the love of dice.
Proficient meaning.
If
If
you
it
are
has that black
proficient.
dot next
Yeah.
to it.
in perception.
Perception.
That's a 19.
I'm not.
Okay, taking a quick look around, you notice that Sam is not with you.
Take this.
Oh.
18,
No wonder it's
16.
so quiet.
I'm going to kill him.
Was he the who? Was he the body?
Oh shit.
Sam is not here.
These things would be way too powerful for us.
Oh,
Well, let me rephrase that. You don't know.
We'd
Where's
probably be
Sam?
dead already.
Right off
Maybe he's another small lizard.
the bat, though, before Arbjorn really has the chance to say much of it, I'll set you're up first.
Great.
I'll
You can
walk
only move
here.
half spaces, so 3 inches for your total move speed.
Okay,
That was like 2.
I'm sure. I'm just gonna get within 15 feet of the fucking Spriggan, light it up, and then walk back to Arbjorn.
Stay close to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna walk within how many feet?
15 feet.
15 feet?
Can you get close enough to do that?
I was right here.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So, and then with enough move speed to walk back next to Arbjorn.
Okay. So yeah, 15 feet towards it. I
No, within 15 feet of it, not necessarily 15 feet towards it.
He wants to move up to within 15 feet of it, attack, and then move back.
You don't have enough move speed.
I
for
don't
that.
have enough move
No.
speed. Okay.
You
in that
have to
case-
get yourself pretty much to here.
Okay, that's fine. In that case, I'm going to get within 60 feet of it, which I assume I could have just done that without moving.
Yes.
Cool. I'll go. Fire is probably better against these guys, but ice will do the trick well enough.
Ice knife.
Go, ice knife. Boop, boop.
Okay.
Does a 10 hit?
That does not.
Cool,
Your ice
still-
knife
Still needs to do a
slings-
concentration saving throw. Or
Constitution.
constitution saving throw.
Yeah, it slings into the air just above its shoulder where it detonates next to its head.
Proximity bomb.
It's gonna be a solid 4.
That does not.
No.
So that is a 9. Shit, I keep forgetting to open my calculator. That is 11 cold damage.
Okay, as the snap of cold kind of explodes around it, you notice that where normally even plants would sort of wither under that kind of frostiness, the cold seems to almost adhere to the plant and absorb into the skin a little bit.
Great! It was already at full health. It's not like I healed it. Like, I mean,
Could give it
So it was
armor.
11 you said that you did for that?
yup.
Hit points,
It's
anyone?
to clarify a little bit, it didn't like it, but it didn't really care about it either.
Okay.
So probably resistance. Which I'm
Call that.
I'm a bit better with if it's resistant.
I apologize for my DM screen just floating around and my camera deciding to trail with it.
No, you look okay.
Go with that. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to do? You have a little bit of movement to go backwards with, but that's about it.
I'll do a jiggy.
Do a jiggy? Okay. Call that a bonus action.
Sure.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Kayneth,
use my
you're up
movement speed
next.
for it.
Elzeet, you're on deck.
Oh, on deck. Okay.
All right. So there's the 4 big guys. From up here, can I tell if any of the vines are still coming at these guys?
The vines like swirled up into these things.
Cool. Okay. Well then, I'm going to Hunter's Mark this guy.
There you go. Oh yeah, I get it. Yep.
Yeah, Wild Hunt.
I was like, you're a ranger now?
Okay.
And so, looking this way, does it get any higher in elevation at all? Like, is there like a rocks I can climb or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, the red masses on either side, those are massive coral formations.
Okay.
And then the squiggly there that thing was kind of crawling out of from underneath, it's like a very tall coral plant, like the ones that you see on the beaches of Ordon.
Okay.
You do notice that it's kind of like
dusty up top, like sand was recently blown off of it.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to use Wild Hunt to do that to that guy, and then does a 16 hit?
That does indeed. Yeah, go ahead, roll for damage. Is that with your longbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's a +5 plus the
6.
And you're shooting at the one directly ahead of you?
Yeah.
Nearest the river?
Yeah, why would I get a D6?
Hunter's Mark.
Oh, I thought that gave me advantage.
No.
Oh, well, I got an 8 and a 9, so it was either
15?
Yeah, or
15 still hits.
Cool.
And it gives you 1d6 extra damage.
My fresh. So I did 8 damage total.
You do 2 damage total for that.
Alright.
Double resistance.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on the D8 and a 2 on the D6.
Oof. Hey, Kat, how's that dice chill looking?
We got hers in there. Anybody want to add?
Mine's in trouble.
Alright, Kenneth,
Don't
do you have
yell mine
anything
yet.
else?
It's only a d6.
Used a bonus action, used my action.
Give it hope.
Scurry up to the nearest thing.
Get within 5 feet of me, then I can protect you.
Same.
You can protect one
Nah,
person.
I'm just gonna continue to stay in the tree.
Okay.
Oh, that's right here. In a tree.
I'll just do that for now.
Do we want to?
He's up in the, like, it's not really a tree, it's a coral massing.
Do we want to get some height?
Sure.
Give me some height.
He's up. I don't know if he's that high. That's really high. That's like
Yo, I'm that high.
40 feet.
If he dashed on his movement to get into that position,
Ostensibly, he could have gotten 60 feet.
and that was a while ago, so he absolutely could have.
Well, he had to exit the tree that he was climbing in to get along that side because the
There we go.
break-in tree line completely along this riverbed. But
Oh, I figured it was still all before combat.
yeah. Okay, Zelzich, you were up next, and Arbjorn, you're on deck.
Cool. So I'm in the middle of that thick of it, basically.
Yeah, you ran up basically right next to Arbjorn and Ossia.
Okay.
In the back
I'm
there.
up front.
Never mind, you ran up to Arbjorn and Elset. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I just gotta see where I'm at so I know what I want to do and where everybody else is at so I know what I want to do. How far apart are those two from each other?
Like
That's gonna be more than
60 feet.
That's more than I was
And then pour him here.
hoping for.
Yeah.
Get my shove, run up, firebolt, and then you could just come up to me.
I'm just gonna
Hit me with the shield.
take this smaller. So, how far am I to that back one? Is that gonna be another about 50 feet? 40 feet?
Yeah, 40 to 50.
Okay, that's within range. So I'm gonna cast the create bonfire at that guy.
Okay.
just kind of cast it at the ground so that the flames like spark up.
Roar
and
up around him.
Roar up around him. It is a dex save on him.
It's a bonfire too.
DC 15.
I'm guessing a 5 doesn't make it.
No, it really doesn't. So he takes
Bonfire lit.
1d8.
Yo, that's lit.
Huh.
Man, a whole D8 fire
Okay,
damage.
so yeah, Zelzeach just kind of backed up against Arbjorn, sees them coming from behind, and just fire lights up around this thing, and
Does 1 point of damage.
Atta girl!
what's with all these ones?
Why are the flames supposed to go higher?
You just kind of hear
It's a new spell!
a from out in the distance.
So
It's a new spell, leave me alone! So yeah, it fills a 5-foot cube. It's there for 1 minute.
She hasn't necessarily
Um,
practiced it though.
This is concentration, so I'll pay attention to that. And then anytime a creature ends up in its space or moves through its space, it has to take that saving throw or take another
And if
D8.
it starts its turn in that space, correct?
If
Probably.
first time it moves into the bonfire space for the first time on a turn, or ends its turn. Not if it
ends its
starts
turn.
its turn.
Okay.
If it starts its turn, it's fine.
So you did 1 damage.
Did 1 damage. Leave me alone. And it doesn't get
You
any
notice
modifiers.
that kind of like this rotted leaf on the end of one of its branchy legs. The leaf kind of sparks and ignites a little bit.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Okay, do you
Oh,
want
look
to
at the
move
hand
on?
that cast it. Fuck you.
She got her own catchphrase this time.
Do you want to move at all? Or are you good where you're at?
a leaf for
I'm going to move around Shield Boy here.
Good on the far side of Arbjorn?
Yeah, I want to get up to like
band.
here-ish, if that's
Shield Boy?
possible. Like
No,
kind of
far
move
side of
around
Arbjorn.
this
3
way.
inches.
Is that good?
Sure. 3 inches is what you get.
It's like
the wind. Well, considering that
Ugh.
like technically our characters are like
I don't know.
10
I
feet
don't
apart
understand.
on the board, kind of spread out. Couldn't she just like move through us or past us?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only contested spaces against like enemies that you can't move through. You can move through allied spaces.
Good to know.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
be respectful and give you guys your space, okay? God,
What?
Hugs.
Okay.
I have Thunderwave prepared.
Earth
I want my
prepared.
space too.
Arbjorn, you are up, and Aurora, you're on deck.
Well, I can do so much.
I just want.
I can do a
So
whole lot.
Throw your
Okay.
shout at it. Shout at it.
I'm not gonna shout at it. I'm not gonna waste it now.
Oh, that's what he meant.
I'm gonna take a step backwards.
I don't know if you saw, but I
So I'm
did.
within 5 feet of mostly everybody.
Yeah, pretty much you're protecting everybody that is
Great.
in that area.
I'm gonna.
The
hold,
only exceptions are Allset and Kanoth. Everybody else is covered.
I'm gonna hold my action for a counterattack if anybody attacks anybody.
Wait,
Okay, noted.
wait, I'm not in his little circle of love.
No, you're just outside of it.
Fuck.
Well, that's also just my face.
Well, I know.
Okay, so
I have
you've got
shield
your
Prepared
prepared,
action in case one of the blights comes upwards.
Yeah, so I can.
Got you guys.
I have the shield, so I can use that as a reaction, and then I can attack with my action.
Got it.
I have shield and absorb elements prepared, so I can at least be kind of defensive.
I'm not getting defensive.
I'll should have
Aurora,
died in one
it is
hit
your
with
turn.
these guys. I'm absolutely on the
Alright,
defensive.
so I enter into a rage and I move just towards the one that's right in front of me. I can't reach it since my arms are short.
The one that's right up against that tree? Perfect. Okay, so that'll be your move speed to get to it, and you can make that no problem.
I guess the head would be going this way since that's the way she's looking.
Are you making reckless attacks or regular attacks?
I thought reckless attacks were a special barbarian thing, not just rage.
It didn't say anything.
But you should have those at level 1.
Never mind.
Reckless is you get advantage on your attack rolls, but you also are getting attacked at advantage.
Okay. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does hit?
He's right there.
I do 12 damage to it. And then I say it's time to trim some hedges.
Is that you're using a battle axe, right?
Yep.
So it'd be slashing damage. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, girl.
Was that the one that you attacked, Alset? Or was
I attacked that one.
you attacked the other one? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one that has not been hit by anything.
Good.
Yeah, I pretty much attacked like the opposite corner.
How long have we been waiting to say that?
Okay, so yeah, you just slam your axe like halfway into the like trunk basically of this thing, and you just hear this kind of compressed.
Say it in character.
It's time to trim some hedges!
Gotta say it angry because you're raging.
In a show,
I think that was pretty angry.
in a show of respect, because I can't see this. You just hear Arbjorn just smacking his shield with his sword.
Alrighty.
Ooh,
I
I'm gonna
believe
say necrotic damage probably isn't the best thing to use against these guys.
that is gonna be everything for you, yeah, because bonus action movement and attack. Okay. It is the thrall's turn now. So we'll deal with Aurora since that's base to base.
What is it, Ace of Base?
There's one in the fridge. Yeah. The fridge water.
Oh yeah.
I like your
Fridge
ace
water.
of base, yeah.
Thank you.
I striked it up.
Instead of abnormal fridge water,
You know,
which is like a bridge
I
Brita
still think
filter.
my Stevie Wonder joke is the best I've been.
This break brought to you by none of us knowing what to say.
Okay, sorry, I was just reading up on my two options here, which I wanted to use more. So the thing that you just slammed your axe into, it just kind of lurches at you, and its arms kind of like extend, and you can see the vines break apart to reveal putrid flesh that is partially
You.
been
Zombie Spriggans.
dissolved. It's been like a degraded
Zombies.
corpse that's machinated by these roots, and it just wraps itself around you, part of the vines and the thorns on them digging into you as it bites down into your neck. And
Nice.
does a 17, 18, 19, 1 hit. Does a 21 hit.
Yes.
Sorry. I was like, plus, what is that? Okay. You take 5 slashing damage, reduced to 2 because you're raging. Or bludgeoning damage, but it's physical damage, so barbarians don't care. Okay, cool. Now let's see what I got for movements, now that I know what I'm doing. Hee hee ha ho ha ha.
Ha ha hee hee ha ha hoo hoo.
Alright. Okay, so these things are basically just gonna sprint in to base.
So anything over 15.
First with Ossia, because that's the only one that it can reach.
Not me. That's all set right there.
That's all set. Just kidding.
Yep.
JK, you're...
I'm here. Center.
That's right. Okay. Well, then I need to addendum that. Tristan is in the protection bubble. Okay. This one is going to sprint up to Sarah.
Which one
And
is least protected?
that one is going to sprint up to...
Reach! Careful on the
Pull the sky.
Ossia, no.
Okay, so Elset, you are in Arbjorn's protection bubble, so are you, Sarah, and so are you, Zelzich.
Okay.
Oh, what does that give me?
His reaction,
My reaction.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thank you.
he's a like defender type fighter.
Well, I didn't know what it did.
I can just impose disadvantage on any attack roll.
Okay.
I cannot.
So the first one is gonna attack, or no, they can't attack because they dashed. JK.
Loser.
None of them can attack because they dashed.
Correct.
Okay, well that's that.
Didn't the one, since it left the bonfire stage, didn't he get a little poofed?
No, because he left the space. Didn't end his turn in it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
those weird end of turn spells instead of start of turn,
What
which I think
bonfire?
create bonfires like the only
Oh,
one
she
that is
cast
like
a
that.
You
bonfire.
did do your bonfire.
Question is...
Yeah, I did. It didn't do anything. It did 1 point of damage.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's why you can do.
Hi, Malka.
Oh wait, JK. Yes, they can. Okay.
Oh god damn it!
I need everybody in that area to make a strength saving throw for me.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, fucking A. Sorry.
Well,
10.
Kenneth is the only one that doesn't need to make a strength save.
Cool. I made a
do I need to make
22.
strength saves?
Everybody, yeah.
7.
What's your strength?
+3.
What?
Okay. Who got above 12?
I got 12.
Okay. So you are not affected.
Oh, is it a grapple?
You three.
Whoa.
You are now considered restrained.
Is this something
Great.
that can be a reaction with the disadvantage roll?
Nope.
Great.
You can add that on.
What is
Yep,
restrained?
that's what we're
Not
doing.
that on
Wait,
it.
so
So
is
is it,
You cannot
It
move.
tells
was that
me.
part of the
Speed
stream?
becomes 0.
Great.
I
That's
think
fine
things
because
have.
I have a
Evan,
longbow. So
if I roll
I think
12,
things
am
also
I
have
restrained?
advantage
Yeah,
to
you're,
attack.
no,
you,
you're
though.
fine. You're fine.
Oh, I'm fine. Great.
You're fine. You are.
disadvantage
you
on
made it out.
dexterity saving.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you match
not that big of a deal.
or
For how many turns?
Better
Until
break
you
restraint.
break
Then you
out
roll.
of it with another strength saving throw.
So yeah, these things rush up, and a flurry of vines just like bursts up, almost from their feet and through the ground, and lashes up to grab at all of your ankles. Arbjorn, Alset, and Aurora, being the strong ones of the group, just rip their feet free and stand ready for the next round.
It didn't do any damage, did it? Just restrained?
No, you are restrained.
Okay.
They just pulled a
making
cannon.
sure.
Thought I was strong,
Why are you-
but going through some stuff.
No, they're short. They're comfy.
Okay.
Uncomfy is the most important part.
What is this?
Sorry.
So it's all attack rolls, even spells. For
Yes.
restraint? Okay.
Yes.
Yep, that makes sense.
Spells that don't need an attack roll obviously are
Never
fine,
open.
but spells that need a hit. are
Gotcha.
affected.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so Sarah, your turn. Asya, you're on deck.
Thank you.
You are in base-to-base contact and restrained by this thing.
Well, I'm gonna use my longbow. Who was the creature that did all of them do the restraints?
Yeah, the 3 that rushed in did that.
Okay.
And for your knowledge, the way that ranged weapons work, if you're using your longbow when in melee combat with something, it's a disadvantage.
Double disadvantage.
Yeah.
Is that only if I'm attacking the one that's in melee range, or can
Yes.
I? Okay, but I can attack someone farther away from me.
Yes.
I
Yeah, it's
wanna
basically
make
just
sure
like,
that
you know,
it's
trying to swing within,
Yeah.
5 feet of somebody. But
If someone
you're
could chop
shooting
your
it-
bow in half with a sword, it makes it hard to shoot a bow.
Right.
if you're shooting at something else and ignoring a target that is closer, that's fine.
Okay.
It will still be a disadvantage because of restraint, but you're not rolling 3 taking the
Right.
lowest.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna attack this guy over here with my longbow.
Okay. And that was the one that came with it, right? Yeah.
Yay, the one who did it with me. Thank you.
You want to hit roll a d20 first?
She said disadvantage.
D20
Maybe I'll
for
To hit it, to
Oh,
make sure
okay.
that you hit
Choose
it,
to eat
and then you
raw
add that
apples.
+7 to
Okay.
your roll.
I've had pizza for the last 2 days.
Oh,
It's like
no.
pasta pizza.
Yeah.
25.
I'm like,
Yeah, that'll
It's a-
hit.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
so
And then I
you
do my
roll
damage,
one
right?
D-
What'd she get?
1d longbow.
Yeah,
25.
1d8,
Oh.
and then you'll add +4
With
to that roll.
disadvantage? Holy.
Oh, with
With
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
25.
So
You gotta roll
one more
again.
time.
Again, take the low.
Oh no, 25 is lower.
What?
Did you get a
28
natural
or
20
She
there?
25.
rolled a critical.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I could give
You
that
can
to
keep
you.
those dice.
Damn, girl.
Okay.
I'm upset.
Yeah, go ahead, roll damage.
No, that's him.
And then add 4 to that. So 7.
7. Uh-oh. 7.
Oh,
Alright, so your arrow flies
I hate
out
you.
and strikes
I hate
straight
you.
to that thing's eyes.
Worse.
Okay.
And then she
That's what the.
gets swallowed up by the thing.
Oh no! Don't do that.
That's what the blade called is yelling.
She hides for a second. Oh no, where'd she go?
I will
I'm a rogue. I
bounce
hid.
it
I
back
hid.
to her to see if she wants to try and make a escape attempt.
We can round.
Yep, that'll be later though. It'll be Asia, your turn.
Great. Ha 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 ha. So to break free of this, is that like an action, a bonus action to do it like a strength check to break restraint?
I think it's just an at the end of your turn thing, but let me check. the
Okay.
Exact rules.
That's fine. In the meantime, can I ask you another question?
You can use your action to make a DC 12.
Okay.
So never mind. Kira can't do that anyways because she used her action.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I currently have a quarterstaff equipped.
Okay.
Is that something like... it has versatile on it as a property. I'm not sure what that is.
So
you can use it
versatile
one-handed
means if you use it two-handed, you get a D8 of damage, and if you use it one-handed, you get D6.
Okay.
So
Great.
versatile just means you can do one or two-handed,
I-
and it affects. The
I
whole
imagined I
hand.
would have my shield still with the quarterstaff.
So one-handed.
So one-handed. Okay. I suppose I will double check my spells so I make sure I do what I. Yeah, I will. I'm just gonna swing at the one in front of me with that quarterstaff.
Okay. You're rolling at disadvantage
Yep.
because you were tinkled.
8 to hit. Yeah, down.
Yeah, you're kind of battering away, but can't quite get through the large chunks of bramble around this thing, as it just in your face. Rancid breath, by the way.
And you got bit with stuff earlier, right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna shout a healing word to Aurora. Then,
What's your healing word?
healing word.
Heal.
Blessings of Stendar upon you.
It's fuck.
No, that's mine.
yeah.
Get the
you.
fuck up! Get the fuck down!
Stendar be with you.
How much does it heal?
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Let me roll a d4 and we'll find out.
I just want higher local spells.
Oh, this is a weird one. 7.
Okay. Yeah, that's all your damage back. There you go.
Heyo.
Okay. Top of the round, all set. You
I'll
are up.
start blade singing and punch this one in the face with my quarterstaff.
Okay. Tally ho.
Yeah, I'm prepared. I am base to base with that
Yep.
one, right? Yeah.
Yep, it is right up against you.
Does a 18 hit?
Sure does.
Great. Woo! That is 9 damage.
9 damage. Solid. So yeah. Where the spell kind of
Strength
soaked into it, this
Plus
time the magic that you imbued into your quarterstaff actually helps you slam through, and you see the wood around its body splinter away a little bit.
Nope. Go stick.
Okay.
Sticky the stick breaker is what I should call this
You
quarterstaff.
do have movement if you want to take the proc. For
I mean, technically, he couldn't. I don't know. Fuck.
Oh yeah, you do have the protection.
Yeah, it hasn't rolled back to his turn yet.
Yep. Take it. Go. Get out of here.
Oof. Move. Hold on. So who else is in melee combat? Because I could also just try and piss another one off that isn't.
It is that you can reach with your blade singing speed.
40
Like
who's is
Asia,
Asia
Sarah,
has a tank.
Sarah.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get between Sarah's and hers.
Okay. That is gonna make an attack of opportunity at you. Move away.
Hold on. Because I mean, does he have to do it before you call the number?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do protection.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm targeting Arbjorn with this, right?
No,
Instead?
it just means you attack with disadvantage.
Attack with disadvantage.
Yeah. All set.
Does it 2 hit?
Nah, not really. First one was a 15.
Well,
That still wouldn't have hit me.
Well, plus 4, 19.
Would have just hit me.
what?
So yeah.
So I just kind of yell at it.
Ah!
There you
So
go.
I guess sorry does
Or oh no, I don't have mage armor active, so no, that would have
8 hit.
no. My armor class is 16 right now instead of
Oh.
19.
I still have my action saved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For a
In case it
counterattack.
tried to attack me.
I would like to roll and fuck that guy up.
Sure.
Cool.
Is he close enough?
It's a 9, 6.
Hold on.
Is he close
That
enough?
is
Yeah, if it's Jason's quiz.
13.
That just hits.
Sweet.
Alset's rushing in between Sarah and her Spriggan with just like a stick and this weird, like, faint, ominous music emanating from her.
That is a 13.
And that was against the one that was attacking.
Alset.
Alset.
So the one that I had hit
Okay.
twice.
Yeah. Okay. So your sword cleaves through it, and you watch kind of like the body actually take the hit finally, and the muscle and bone beneath the branches gives way, but then an elastic string of muscle snaps back in, and then veins start reconnecting, and it.
And I just kind of take my shield and kind of put it from my face and start smacking it with my sword.
Okay.
Would it be an action to make a investigation to see if it's undead or not?
You're very confident that after that little display, yes, it definitely is. There's no need for an action.
Woo! Alrighty then.
Kenneth, you are up. Zelzich,
You have
you're
some
on deck.
bonus against undead?
I do. I
Oh.
have a burst sign.
Oh, turn undead.
Is there
Right, you
everybody-
have turn undead.
Who's still restrained?
I am.
I am.
Zelzich, Sarah, and Asia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, or if it would really even work. So these things kind of have like a mind of their own, right? You're not like part of the forest.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
No, there.
Oh, no,
I have plan.
Dude, I can't decide which one I want to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock. I'll knock an arrow, and I'm just gonna shoot for the one that I shot already.
Okay. The one that now has 2 arrows sticking out of it from you and Sarah.
Yeah,
Starting to turn it into a pincushion.
I'm not gonna hit it with a 10.
Yeah, unfortunately 10 just misses. It kind of like the arrow like does hit, but it's wedged in the bark, just kind of you actually hear the like shaft quiver a little bit.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, child.
I'm the one that went like that moan, so I mean.
Okay.
Shaft
You
quiver?
still have movement and a bonus action.
Yeah, I can't really do anything as a bonus action.
Okay.
Other than
And
Hunter's Mark.
But here, do that.
which I mean, it only works if it hits.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Just gonna stay in the tree.
Okay.
Cool. Not get grappled.
Zelzich, you're up. Arbjorn, you're on deck.
Okay. How far? You said like 1 inch is like 10 feet?
Yeah.
So then that guy and that guy would both be within 10 feet on either side? Would you say? Or is that more like 10 and 15? 15.
They're like 15 feet apart.
From me, centered on me?
Uh,
So 15 feet either side?
If you moved up towards
I
where Alset is, then yeah, but otherwise the only one that's within 15. Oh, I see the one you're pointing at. Okay, yeah, actually, the one that Osio's base to base
Yeah.
with. Okay, yeah, that'd be, I'd say 15 feet either side of you.
Okay, well, I need 10 feet either side
Okay,
of me. So,
then it's just one.
Never mind. I won't do that then. So I'll make number 2. All my attacks are at disadvantage. Because I'm restrained still. And that's a full action to try and break restraint, right?
Yeah. Anything that requires an attack roll is at disadvantage.
I'll take the disadvantage. And I'm going to go for this one.
Okay, with what?
I'm gonna like take my clawed hand and kind of like do this sweeping motion out, and it's going to throw chill touch at it.
Okay.
Disadvantage. That's gonna be 9. 16 still.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
Go min maxing.
So it takes 1d8 damage.
What kind of damage?
Necrotic against undead.
I know, 1, but it's still, if it hits an undead creature, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the start of my next turn.
Nice.
For chill touch since it hit.
The hand that you summon kind
And
of...
it can't regain hit points until the end of its next turn.
Nice.
So, or no, until the end of my next turn.
You notice that as the vines kind of like... it's almost like a hand made of vines that Zalzeech creates. Formed like the claw of a Wamasu, which is a giant lightning-breathing alligator. Kind of reaches up out of the dirt beneath it and just drags its fingernail across this thing's back, and it...
It looks like I kind of like that.
So yeah, so because it hit an undead creature, it cannot regain hit points until the start of my next turn, and it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn.
And that was the one that Arbjorn hit, correct?
No, that was the one that I had hit.
This is this one right here.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I hit.
Also the one that Arbjorn
Oh,
hit.
yeah.
Chill dagger. Oh, yeah.
Right, you hit the one
Okay.
that I hit.
And with that, noticing the effect of that claw, it just kind of starts to shrivel as the necrotic energy pulses through it, and the vines and bark kind of fall apart as the body inside decomposes at an accelerated rate.
1 HP.
Yeah. Undead Fortitude. Arbjorn killed it, and then it didn't die.
I fucking
This
hate
is
the undead.
God, I hate that ability so much.
Well,
I don't know what that
killed
is,
it with
but
1
I'm
hit
sure I'll
point,
find
guys.
Yay! I'm so proud.
And that was the one that was within 10 feet. The other one on the other side of me was the 15 foot away one, the one that Aussie is engaged with. That's 15 feet away. Did him dying unrestrain me?
Nope.
Okay.
No. You see the vines are still kind of pulsing with that sickly purple, muddy
Who's the one that's going to try and
song
vines have to
around
this
your
fucking
feet.
ritual?
If I get any damage on death, will I get back as health?
I'm not going to blow my reaction on that.
Okay.
Then that ends my turn because I have 0 bonus actions because Wild Shape is a full action and I decided not to do that. So.
Arbjorn, you're up.
Okie dokie. Quick question
Rory's on deck.
on ritual. Not the turn undead, but the on a killing blow. Does that stack for 10 health points or no?
No, just heals you.
Great. Just
I'm
curious.
gonna give you one more chance.
I'm gonna take this guy that is right here.
That's in front of me. Who's in front of Sarah?
Yeah,
Got it.
I'm gonna push through and
Do that
Just
when it
wade
matters.
through, kind
Yeah.
of tromping across those.
yeah, I'm gonna
Get next to me.
Those
I'm gonna
face.
fuck him up.
Okay.
So you, we're side to
I'm not so easily
side.
forgiving.
Shield brothers.
You can stand.
That's a good hit. That does not hit. I don't think. No, that's a 9. No. That's an 11.
Just misses. Your sword gets through
You need
almost, but not quite. It kind of latches in at the wood armor that's covering this thing's body, unable to actually hack through to the undead beneath it.
And then I'm just gonna. I still have movement, right?
Yeah, 15 feet.
Great.
Say.
I'm just gonna move.
20 feet.
Would the center right here be within 5 feet with anybody? This blank spot right here.
Yeah, that'd put you in base to base with all 3 of those.
Great. Let's do that.
Okay. Aurora, your turn.
Okay, so is my battle axe kind of entangled with vines since he kind of just wrapped around me?
No, he tried, and you just
Okay.
broke those vines right off.
Okay, then I'm gonna attack him again because I'm real pissed off now.
Have fun with that.
She'll just try to bludgeon it to death. It's okay.
Into the rage cage.
Do it.
11? No, wait. 13, actually.
Hits.
4.
That's a 10.
10. Yeah, so 14.
That's- you rolled a
zeros or
10.
tens.
Oh! Wait. Am I using the right dice?
That's a D10.
Yeah, it's a percentile, but it still works as a
You're using
D10.
your what? Your battle axe?
Or is it a
So
D8?
You're using a D8.
Well, if a battle axe you could versatile, so she could feasibly be wielding it with 2 hands.
Oh yeah, that's true. If you're doing it with 2 hands, it'd be a D10.
So yeah.
I'm gonna take your 10 roll.
It's gonna be 14.
14.
There we go.
Okay.
Fucking A.
Once again, your axe just slams through this thing, and it rips actually most of its arm away. All that's really connecting there is like a little scrap of wood, and a pulse of black, thick, inky blood shoots out and then solidifies into this like tumorous clump of muscle that reconstitutes, and the bark comes back up around it.
I'm shooting for that muscle next.
She starts screaming, I fucking hate the undead.
It screams back.
She yells back.
This is just a shouting match between the barbarian and the fucking Draugr over here.
Alright.
Not a fan.
I rolled a 19.
Alright, first attack is gonna be at Asya.
Bring it.
Actually,
Bring it, punk.
yeah, the Light of Stendar thing. It's going for you. That's gonna be
Like a beacon.
23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Does it move at all?
No.
No.
Even with your armor.
I'm
What's your
watching
armor
it.
class now?
20.
Oh
I
man.
know.
She has more armor.
Gotta
than
get hit
me.
sometime.
Jeez.
Fuck! Damn it, Evan, I don't like that face!
Oh no.
Woo! Wowza. Okay.
Should have
Fuck
rolled for
me.
protection. God damn.
What kind of damage is this gonna be inflicting?
Bludgeoning damage as it just slams into you. You were
No. It's a stick.
grappled by it, which is why it got the restraint. Hold on.
Roll advantage.
Yeah, it's just an advantage.
Mhm.
It's not incapacitated. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's why. So
Think
yeah,
about
it
that.
just jumps into you and starts kicking into your armor hard enough to almost dent the plates, and then it actually gets in a little bit and scratches into like your neck here, and you take 14 damage.
I get to roll a d6 for my birth sign. If it is piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning damage, and take that damage off.
Okay,
Yep.
so do I have to...
Yeah, it's per unit.
1 damage.
Okay, so you take 13 points of
I
damage.
take 13 points of damage.
To your 14 health. I
You hear a blood-curdling scream from Asya.
Great!
But
Alright.
you're not down?
I'm not down.
Okay.
By however
And
many
then the next one is going after Aurora because it is angry.
So the question is he gonna fight the singing
Just
elf or
getting
the
into
angry
It's gonna be a
elf?
max now.
17 to
Using
hit.
magic or these
So if my...
AC
divine.
It is 17.
Guys, please
so-
remember it's hard to hear over multiple
That
people talking
just-
at a time.
hits.
Okay.
Okay, so you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 4, as this thing just like trying to like muscle up against you, and even after you mostly tore off its arm, it's still coming after you, and you like kind of keeping it at bay with your battle axe, but it's still scratching the hell out of your arms and nicking across your face with the like grasping vines. All right, and last one is gonna be against
Elsa and
Set.
yeah, the
I'm gonna roll
spellcaster.
protection.
Okay.
So you're at disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Mhm.
Nah, I'm not even gonna bother re-rolling then. That's a 2.
Yep.
No,
So yeah.
go for that crit fail.
He's big. He must protect.
Basically, a crit fail
15.
already.
So yeah, this thing tries to swing in broad at Alset's head, and Argon just boom, shield up, knocks it out of the way.
What's up, fucker?
Keep
put the hand
track
on your
of how
chest.
many
Thank you.
superiority die you have left
He
for
doesn't
that
have-
maneuver.
That's
It doesn't take
that's
security.
a fighting style.
Oh,
It's just
Dope.
a reaction.
neato.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
like dueling or archery, armored.
that's what that one is. That's why you're base to base for it instead of at range. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Add 2.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't have those yet.
Have at it. Okay, that is that. Sarah, you were up, and then Asya, you're on deck.
And you're not base to base anymore,
Sorry,
so you
I'm
don't have
teaching her
triple
how to
disadvantage
play
against this
combat, so
You're good.
I'm trying at least.
But I'm still restrained.
You are still restrained.
How do I stop being restrained?
You have to spend an action, which is what you use to attack, to break free of the vines, or somebody
a
else can
saving
break you
throw,
free.
right?
Yeah, it's a strength saving throw.
Yeah, you could do a strength saving throw, or you could use your full action and not attack and try and break free.
There's a disadvantage on the saving throws, isn't there?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know where I read that. Okay.
It's disadvantage on attack.
No, okay, but no.
Dex save throws while you're
Dex
restrained.
Oh,
saving
dex
throws,
save
yeah.
throws.
That's
in
what
there.
it is. Okay, but strength is fine.
to
Okay.
break it. Yeah, it's basically like these things have like crawled up around you and are limiting your movement, so it's hard for you to like turn around and attack. But you can just rip your leg out of it, kind of deal.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna do a strength saving throw.
Okay.
8.
No.
Yeah.
Struggling against those vines, you were still
Nope.
just locked down.
Is it 8?
It's 11.
Oh, that was a 9.
Yeah, it was a 9. You can see the dot?
Oh, it was a
That's
9.
for
It's 11.
orientation.
Struggling against those vines, you're still just can't quite get out.
Okay. But do I still have a bonus action?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can do 2-weapon fighting if I use 2 daggers. Because I have.
You can
If
chuck
you
an
use-
offhand dagger.
Do I have 2 daggers? Dagger plus 1 is that right?
No, that's just a magical item.
Do you need an axe? I have an
I
axe
only
too.
have one.
Or
I
how
have
about
a
a crossbow?
dagger and a longsword.
You can't throw the longsword.
But I can. Where's my.
Oh, you can't throw an
Or
offhanded
short
weapon
sword.
either.
I have a dagger
You
and a
can
short
throw
sword.
a dagger.
But 2-weapon fighting is your offhand.
Yeah, you can throw one.
With your offhand? I thought we just said. Never mind. Doesn't
So I have a dagger and a short sword.
The reason I was having issues with it last time was because I forgot that he threw his dagger already
matter.
and couldn't, throw something that wasn't in his hand.
Okay, never mind.
So yeah, you can throw the dagger
Okay.
if you want to.
And then melee with the short sword.
Well, you used your action. You can't attack anything, but you do have your bonus action to whip that dagger out.
But when it says 2-weapon fighting, does that mean I'm fighting with 2 weapons?
Basically, yeah, it would be like you have one weapon in each hand, and
You're
the
fighting
dagger
with
would
the
be in your
offhanded
left.
But I'm only attacking with one
With
weapon.
one,
Yes.
That makes sense.
With
Okay,
the
yeah.
one that's in your non-dominant hand,
Okay.
basically.
First time player.
Yes. Noob.
Learning!
Is this guy close enough to me to throw my dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw my dagger at the dude.
Do it.
Um.
Can be with your
Okay.
Dex
That's
modifier.
7, and so 5 is my disadvantage, but there's a. What did we add to disadvantage?
yeah, you'll still be proficient with it and with your dex modifier.
Plus
So
7?
plus 7.
Okay.
So whatever you roll,
12?
7.
5? 12.
Yep, 12.
12.
12 just hits.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, the dagger sinks in. It's
And a D4.
just 1d4.
Alright.
Plus nothing, unfortunately. But
Plus nothing. Oh.
Yeah, when you use your offhanded
2.
weapons, you don't get
2.
the add-ons
Okay.
at the end there.
and that wasn't the one that Aurora was smacking at, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was. Oh, okay. Woo! Funny. Yeah. Great fail on that save. Your dagger just sinks all the way through its head. It's one of those things where it's like it was screaming in Aurora's face. It was battering against her, and you're just fuck it.
That guy's
Dagger goes like
annoying.
I
through
imagine
its
it
mouth,
going through like his open mouth.
Yeah. up through like the soft palate and just gone.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's super dead.
He's super dead. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I crit failed on the save. I only had to
Nice.
beat 2, but
I'll take
crit
it.
fail. Like,
Cool.
okay,
Just know that your dagger's still in this thing's mouth.
Okay.
Asya,
So
you
I'll
were up.
collect him later.
Initiative count 20 is next. Alset, what is your dex modifier?
+1.
Okay.
Why?
Buy more daggers.
So yeah, you have to go retrieve your dagger
Yeah.
from his face,
And you can't move.
and you still can't move yet.
Are you the only one in the party that uses daggers? Anybody else?
Y'all recovered a bunch from the Thieves Guild.
I don't think
have
anybody
3.
claimed
Yeah.
them though.
I have 3 of them.
yeah, I think
did.
he still has all of them.
I
Well, if
have
I
all
can't
that
retrieve
gear.
mine, I'm gonna.
All that gear.
We're
Anybody
gonna
need a
be good buddies.
crossbow? I got a crossbow. How about the
With my +1 dexterity modifier and no
I might take
proficiency.
that crossbow.
I could probably.
I think your longbow is stronger.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Shall I
stronger.
go quick? Go quick.
I'm gonna.
Hi.
I might actually take one of those daggers just to.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Because I have bludgeoning.
Okay.
I'll get
Yeah.
slashing
That
eventually.
was my healing word.
and piercing would also help.
Still do it. It's only 1d8 plus 3 of healing, and I took a lot of damage, so
You got whammy.
I heal 10
That's not bad.
to myself.
Okay.
And I can't really do much for bonus action here, can I?
You can't cast 2 of the spells at the same time.
Can I attempt to do an unarmed strike with my offhand shield for 2-weapon fighting?
No.
No.
Not really how shields work.
Okay, I don't really have that proficiency.
Yeah.
No, do I?
Yeah. If you can do a bonus action spell at a lower level.
I don't think it
Yeah, no. All I have is Healing Word and Shield of Faith, which I don't really want to burn another spell slot to do that right now.
Healing Word a cantrip?
No, it's
No, it's first level spell. Yep.
There are no healing.
And all of my cantrips are actions, so
Okay.
that'll be it. That's all I'm gonna do.
Cool. So top of the round, before your turn, do think about what you're doing.
I am.
But
I know what I'm doing.
down on the it'd be the northish side of the river. Other side. Yeah. A massive fireball explosion detonates in the tree line. And you see a
That's the that's the fireball.
line of thrall bits and pieces just flashing on fire through the air.
Random fireball.
Just random.
Oh, you
fireball.
did the. Oh.
You see
God
a
damn it,
Dunmer
Sam.
man
I forgot you existed.
with a large sprinting down the basically river beach, just line of thralls in tow, throwing another fireball over his shoulder. Problems! I've got lots of problems! You've got lots of problems!
I don't think he was.
We all have a lot of problems.
We are going
to have words.
I don't think he was eaten by the thralls.
Bummer.
A line of firebolts flies out of his hand and smashes into the ground, freeing you three
Aw.
from the vines.
Well, that's my action.
Great, now I owe him one.
Also,
He
you
lied
are
to me.
still in contact, I believe, with one of the thralls.
Yeah, I was gonna try and save Sarah,
Aw.
but I'll just fucking smack it again with my steak. Sticky McStick breaker
magic stick.
staff. I like sticks. That is a 11. God damn it!
Just can't quite smack through.
Sticky's not
3
breaking
times
sticks.
we've hit this thing with an 11. Like this thing was hit 3 times in a row, and they were all 11s.
Sucks to suck.
Come on.
Stop throwing those at me.
Okay, is that it for you?
Yeah.
Kenneth, you're up. Zazich, you're on deck. You
I still
are
have 2
three
spell
down.
slots.
I know.
Hit it with a 16.
Hit for 16, yeah. Arrow just.
Fine.
Which one?
Which one?
Fucking hits.
Which one?
The one that I've already hit.
The one that you've been pumping full of arrows in contact with Osir right now?
Yep. Please
Okay.
kill it.
Actually, yeah, I might start triggering.
Do not want to take more ouchies.
Yeah, that one seems to hit real hard.
That's a 7 plus these.
9 damage.
That is just enough. Let's see if it comes back. Wow! Another crit fail on that save.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
what's up.
same deal kind of as with Sarah with the dagger. This thing's like shrieking in Asia's face, and then an arrow just thunk through its eyeball out the bottom of its jaw, and it just crumples in front of her.
Thank
you.
Just kind of like slides down her shield a little bit with a nice little.
Is it juicy at all?
Not really.
Okay.
No, more woody.
Just gotta be careful, like none of that eyeball juice gets in her mouth or anything.
No, there's one more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still one that is.
There's one that we
pounding
can't
on
fucking hit.
Zelzich.
Pounding on me.
Let
No,
me
it's
at
not
him.
on me. It's not anywhere close to me.
It's on us too.
So since that
yeah,
one's
you
dead
did.
now,
I'm
It's the
next
one
to
that
Jam.
you hit first, so I labeled it
Actually,
as
on all
Zal's.
sides, and Sarah.
Yeah, I'm actually not.
Oh, with
Yeah.
bonfire?
Yeah.
so since that one's dead now,
Uh-huh.
I can move my hunter's mark for free.
Yep.
And I'll move it to that guy.
Got it.
And I will use my action surge
Okay.
to shoot an arrow.
Fuck yeah.
The one that can't seem to be hit.
Oh my god.
That's a 17 plus 7.
That'll hit.
That'll
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll do.
We'll
Don't
take
get that'll do.
And then dice for Hunter's Mark.
Oh, now you start getting good rolls.
13 damage.
13.
Okay.
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Again, the arrow slams through, kind of getting it in the shoulder. It's just rips it out with its mouth.
Its head contorts unhumanly.
Okay. Yeah, jaw kind of like swings around and under.
God, I hate the undead.
I believe that brings us to Zelzich, unless there's anything else you had, Kenneth.
No.
All right, Zelzich, you are up.
Yeah. For that guy that's still standing, I'm just going to cast out another chill touch cantrip at him. Which is not a disadvantage anymore. Yay. 17
That'll
natural.
definitely hit.
So that's 1d8 and 6 points of damage. And the same thing, he can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn, and any attack that he has against me is at disadvantage.
So yeah, the Wamasu claw comes up, spectral, and kind of like actually sinks now into like the base of this thing's skull, and it just.
And then I'm going to use my movement to get as close to him as I can.
Moving up in a range with it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
As I pass Asia, I'm going to like point at her and say, "Don't be a bitch." 7 points of healing to you.
Yay!
I love those just healing word. I love blessings of Sendar be upon you.
Freaking druid.
Don't be a
granny.
bitch.
And
Classic.
is he within 10 feet of me now?
Yes.
I'm gonna blow my reaction as well.
Oh, popping them hist blossoms.
Yeah,
I'm a
and
child.
then poison him with some Halo of Spores. That does one damage.
Okay.
One
So
That's okay.
Zalzich, as a circle of spores druid,
Fucking, I hate
has just kind of hist blossoms hanging in her feathers that sometimes vine down and then burst into little poisonous clouds. All right.
Yeah, yeah, it's 1d4 necrotic.
a number of times.
Oh wait, no, subtract that. I can't use it at this point.
Okay.
Oh,
I
you have
will
to
be
on-
using it, but I can't use it now.
You have to be in your wild shape, right?
No,
Oh.
no.
That's the enhanced version.
That's the enhanced version that gives me the temporary hit points.
That has to hit you.
No, it's within 10 feet. But it has to start its turn in there. So on its turn, it'll make the con save for it because it is a con save, and then it'll take the damage.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, a little plume of reddish pollen floats out from this like glistening ruby red flower.
I read it wrong. Sorry, but that's what's gonna happen on the start of its turn.
Thank you
That's
for
what's
letting me
gonna
know. Harbion, you were up.
All right. Can I move to flank this guy?
I believe so.
Sweet. I'm gonna flank him.
Yeah, because it doesn't cost movement to move through. So.
Oh, we don't have rogues. That does nothing.
No, I'm just gonna get.
Still gives them advantage.
It was a joke.
I'm gonna get behind this
She's
motherfucker.
so excited about a rogueless party.
Alrighty. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. I'm gonna attack this guy with the
2
long
natural ones.
Are you?
Come on, big backs.
Shit! At advantage! Fuck up! Shut up! At advantage! Come on! Shit! A 1 and a 2! You suck!
Shame!
Shame! I wanted to end that fight so bad!
I am so sorry. Arbion's sword kind of
die in the dice jail. What happened? He really wanted to
shakes the.
on
Is this thing working? Nope, sure isn't.
Sure it
Right after
isn't.
I said oh, you have advantage once you roll 2 natural ones. He rolls a 1 and a
How
2.
about no more talking?
Yeah, shut up. Shut up.
Unless you want to burn your action surge.
Let's fuck it. Let's.
There's the spirit. Still at advantage.
I rolled
Still
a
at
15.
advantage?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Alright, I'll take that. That is a 17 to hit.
That'll do her.
Alrighty. God.
Cat's over here
I
getting
hate-
18s on your dice.
I feel really scared sitting right next to Alec.
Should be. He's rolling ones. Ones for damage.
That's a 6.
That's still enough to potentially
It
kill it.
can't regain hit points.
Oh, never mind. That's right.
Yeah!
So
Yay.
with that, Arbjorn cleaves the head off this thing.
Hey!
As it's, this frustrated kunk, kunk. Oh, I should be this way. And his head rolls to the ground as Samael, now still with a line of thralls, running down the beach. He launches back another fireball. Rope bridge now!
Also runs. She's got 40 feet still. She's fucking running.
I'm gonna take it out in initiative order for this.
That's fine.
Great. Yeah,
Um,
booking it to the
That's
bear.
fine.
As you all sprint into the forest. Okay.
I was just saying, also it's faster, so she's probably gonna cross.
Oh, you know what?
I
I don't have action surge.
You don't?
No.
He's level 1, not level 2.
Because he wasn't
I
there.
mean, that's okay.
Brett,
I
mean,
Can we just kill it? Can we just kill it?
I'm being honest here.
Alec needs that.
I'm being
No,
honest. I gotta be an
hey.
honest player.
Hey, wait.
we
No, I
appreciate
know.
DM's discretion.
our Lord and Savior, DM Christ.
We've spent 2 hours basically on getting through this encounter because of how hard these things were to kill. Let's move on.
Yes.
it. Thank you for your honesty.
Also, holy shit.
That's good karma
It
for
is
you.
9.
Can I use my whip as everybody's going across the rope bridge? Can I use my whip to like
Indiana
grab a
Jones.
tree and?
There's not really any
across?
trees is the thing.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, this is like basically those 3 things, and you notice now that you're standing on it, this coral tree that you're on is actually upside down. It was uprooted by something so powerful that ripped through here. And these boulders, they're not supposed to be this far inland. Those are like sea wash.
Right.
Something ripped these out of the ocean and threw them many miles inland.
Well, then instead, I'm gonna run down the limb of the tree and use it like a diving board and jump. No,
Into the river!
I'm gonna go take the rope bridge.
I'm gonna use my
Fucking
feet like a
swan
normal fucking person.
I'm gonna swan dive.
Wait. So that means that I swim faster than the boat.
But not strong enough to get back on.
Right?
What does this rope bridge look like before we all try to sprint across it?
Rickety.
Not strong enough
That's a
to
good
hold
word.
8 people.
How much does a 90-pound girl running
Fuck.
across it
Let's
matter?
play with fate. Arbjorn, I'll go first.
I'll
No.
I'll
Set just goes straight
set-
across it because she's her double dash speed is 80 feet.
Kids
Yeah.
fast.
Kids first.
We go last. Since we're
Okay.
the biggest.
Her life little freak.
I think Asia is like on the opposite side of the spectrum is also though.
The weight.
But I'm second youngest in the party,
That's
so-
fine. I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm just also saying
Yes.
you are 300 pounds.
Kids first, let's go.
Not
I'm just
90.
living in that agrarian lifestyle where it's like if
Okay.
the kids die
Who's
first,
going over next?
we have a higher
Asya?
expectation of life.
Asya, this thing is
real swayy, and there's a good,
Oh shit.
9 inches
What the fuck
between
did you guys
each
expect?
board that swings from it.
9 inches.
Can I get a dex save
Yep.
from you, please?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, what's 9 inches?
God damn it! That's an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
Are you actually kidding?
Very carefully,
What is
you are
9 inches?
able
The space
to
between
push
each-
your way
Okay.
foot by foot, board by board, across.
Wait.
Asia, hurry up!
Inch by inch, board by board,
However,
across
For
this
singing.
bridge.
about
For the record, I weigh about
3/4 of the way through,
Damn it.
as your foot goes down, square on one of the boards, it snaps. I need you to make an athletics for me.
Okay.
Athletics check.
For the record, I currently weigh about 225 pounds.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Way a lot more than
A
that.
strength, an athletics check.
Athletics check.
Fucking nope.
You're a
Nope.
stone in water.
I rolled a 3. My strength is +1.
4.
Or wait, I guess that's athletics. Nope, +1. 4. I rolled a
Okay.
4.
Asia goes into the river.
If
Yay!
okay, how
As
far above
usual.
it is it? If I cast Featherfall, would that give
about
her like a moment's reaction at
15
all?
feet.
Would that
Can
give her
you
like a
catch her
moment's
with your
reaction
whip?
at all to save her?
Whip
Not
her
really.
ankle.
No.
Well, but then
And I'm
are you strong
guessing
enough to pull her up?
Gus
is the
is a
question.
bit too long of an action.
Armor.
Guaranteed 5 feet of movement.
225 pounds.
It's still a guaranteed 5 feet of movement.
How am I gonna cross this bridge?
Not.
I
Carefully.
mean,
So did
she'll
Asia just
sink,
die?
right?
I weigh over 300 pounds.
Yeah, as you hit the water,
Oh, I should have given myself guidance.
you do find the water, while very, very fast, is not incredibly deep. Even on you, it's only about chest deep.
How much do you weigh then?
That's
225 pounds.
Okay.
That's-
I need you to make one more athletics check for me to keep your footing in the water.
Athletics, not like acrobatics or something.
Athletics.
It's another 4.
The current is starting to sweep Asia
I'm
Dive-
down the
dive-
river, and she
dive
is
in.
struggling to keep
Yeah.
afloat.
I dive in after her.
Yeah, my dex and everything with water apparently is shite.
The 2 with swim speed are going in for.
Yep.
Bad dice. Do you want
Elset's
dice?
gonna run along the river
dice.
next to them.
That was bad luck.
She's gonna chase them down the river, not necessarily jumping in.
Okay.
But just in case.
While people are in the water, Arduin's gonna carefully, slowly cross this bridge at 300 pounds.
I want you to make 4 attack rolls for me.
4 attack
4
rolls.
attack rolls.
Ah, shit.
I'll be use your wait. Hold on, get your broken dice so you roll low.
Oh yeah, no, let's fuck it. Well, that's a 16.
So your first foot snaps a plank, but you kind of catch yourself knowing
Alright.
what to expect.
All
Next
right.
plank, as you try to go a little bit further out.
Okay,
I feel so bad for everyone else who has to follow.
that's a 1.
Okay, that one holds you.
Sweet.
2 more.
2 more.
You got this.
That is a 19.
Oh no.
Again, you try to. You ever seen an elephant try to balance on one of those balls in the circus?
Yeah.
That's you right now.
In my head, I'm just going fuck.
And then this one is actually going to be at advantage because you're skipping over about 2 feet of space because of the plank that Asia broke.
Okay,
Oh
here we go.
Why did we let him go?
At 10.
Oh no.
There's people in the water that can save me.
Oh no.
16.
That one too breaks. I need you to make an athletics check
That's a
for me.
20.
Meanwhile, Zalzich and Kenneth, you're both going to save Asia.
I was definitely. I
Yeah, I had said even before
Okay.
her that I was just diving in.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, easy enough, are able to catch up to her. Asia, you are no longer drowning as these two are pulling you up above the surface. I need one of you to make an athletics check at advantage.
Yeah, because I can also help them pull it
That's
up
a
too
22.
Arduin
You
is
should do it 'cause
T-posing.
Feet just dangling over the water.
17.
Thank you, motherfucker.
17? Okay, so yeah, you two are able to hoist Asia to the bank.
Asia, get over here.
It's like it takes a hell of a lot of strength. Zalzich's tail is going like a freaking rudder under there.
I love it.
But, yeah. But you are able to get her up onto the bank where she can kind of get her footing. And you said you were tossing down a rope to her at the
No,
bank?
I'm just helping hold her up.
Okay.
I don't have ropes.
So did you jump down to the water line? Because it's like a 15-foot steep bank.
Oh, okay. Could I like hold my stick out? Because I have the quarterstaff.
15 feet.
Jump. No. I mean, if I jump down, would I be in the water, or is there like at least a little bit of land?
It's like a thin margin. This does not look entirely natural.
Well, yeah, but if I jump down, would I like? Actually, no. I could jump down. If I do, can it be acrobatics checks to land and not get in the water?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'll do that.
Don't. No, that's fine. So I'll jump down to help them out.
Okay.
We
That
don't need
is
help.
a 20.
Okay, you land just fine.
Cool. Just in case.
You two are on the other side while Arbjorn is in the middle of the bridge. Just
Can I do an athletics check to see if I can get across the bridge better than he is?
While he is on the bridge.
how do you want to do that exactly? Because he's, like I said, like just hands on either side of this T line.
I'm 6'5",
He's become one with the bridge.
235 pounds before armor.
and it's yeah. He's
Walk over him
knocked
like
out
he's a plank.
of several panels too.
So
to this
how
thing.
far across is the river?
15, 30 feet.
How far?
15, 30 feet. 30 feet. You are 15 feet into the bridge.
How far away is the nearest plank? Is there a way I can get up?
Solid 6 feet.
If you're 6'5", you can just like
Be flexible.
I'm gonna kind of.
Or well, 4 feet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna not do that. I was gonna try to go like, but then.
You look like
Let me
pretend you're
guess, Sam
Dylan.
is like levitating.
Is there a way that I could just kind of shimmy?
Yeah, give me another athletics check.
I'm good at those. As he says,
So
as
he
he
claims.
rolls an 8
Total?
total.
The rope burn is getting to you real freaking bad. And you're just kind of. So you're not falling, but you're not going forward.
Wouldn't it be more like monkey bars, like instead of?
But still, I'm like this.
I mean, yeah.
At this
guess,
point,
yeah.
I will yell.
If it was to let go, yeah, it wouldn't really.
Sam, make yourself useful.
Well, what do you want me to do? Teach you to fly?
If you can.
As he's walking across the water underneath you.
Oh my gosh.
You're a piece of
Can
shit.
I give him a little?
He's gonna spit on him.
It just kind of like hits the feather and
How far downriver am I?
you made it about 20 feet before they caught you because they are fast as hell. So
Wait,
you did
how
not go
tall
that far.
are you, Asio?
5'4".
5'4". Oh, and you said it was chest high on her?
That's how tall
He
I
can
am.
just fucking
All right.
He's gonna let go.
Make an athletics check.
I'm
He's
just
just
oh,
say
wait.
anything.
Kiddie pool.
I like that a lot better. That's a 19.
Okay, so yeah, you just splash in. The water's like kind of about at crotch line for you.
That's cool.
Tickle the berries there. As you,
No, I just
but
kind of.
your legs are not going anywhere as you just truck on through.
Okay. I look at Sarah and I tell you, go first.
Yeah, don't break the bridge before I can get across it. I was looking at my what would I be using if I wanted to swim through the water instead?
That would be athletics.
athletic?
If you want to do something a little bit more,
Like my acrobatics is +6. Like I really want.
that would
would
be
be a
something
good
like
idea.
jumping lithely across the bridge.
I'm going to jump lively across the bridge.
There you go. Make like the swift brown fox jumping over the lazy dog.
Oh, okay.
Ha.
Can I roll?
Ha.
Yeah. If it drops off the table, then...
Oh.
Is that
That would be a 10.
10?
Yeah.
That's just enough.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you are just able to make
so
it
lively.
the like 6 foot gap caused by Arbjorn and
Asia in their clunkiness.
To the other side or just onto the bridge?
On across the bridge, so it's like a
Across
6 foot, like just little whoop boop, boop,
Okay.
to kind of keep yourself up. And yep, the planks hold as you land, and you're able to cross
Heck to
safely.
the yeah.
Okay, so I'm the last one.
Yep.
Okay, can I do an athletics check to see if I can sprint across the boards just leaping it like
Just
I
do like
would?
a 6 foot like long stride.
Yeah, just kind of
Parkour!
doing some
How much do you
track.
So your character weight
You
plus
can't
whatever
ask
encumbrance you
that.
have.
230.
230. Okay, make an athletics check.
Okay.
Am I
I
at
don't
the
know
shore
why,
yet,
but
or am
now
I
I
still
just
in the
assume
water?
that you
To
go
the shore.
steps like 3 at a
Can I
time.
not?
Can you still be in the water, sure?
I'm gonna see if she
Um,
falls. I'm gonna try to catch her.
Oh,
Okay,
I
just
never
kind of waiting.
exerted my rage.
Rage only lasted a minute.
Yeah, it faded.
Yeah, okay. Ooh. 7. To check to see if I could do it.
I'm carrying half my weight.
Yeah, so your foot kind of hits the edge of the board and then clips it down a little bit, and you just like splits fall straight to Arguorn. Make an athletics check to catch her.
Oh, I got you. 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, girl. Put me down, please.
Okay. So I put you down, and I just.
Make
Not
an
gonna
athletics check to
participate on The
resist the flow of
Bachelorette.
water.
I was gonna say, and then she gets to water stool in God it. damn it.
Uh-oh. Shit.
Uh-oh.
I did put my hand there to catch her. Just in
Wait,
case.
I'm trying to math. 11.
Okay, that's just enough.
Okay.
Same.
Should have put her down more like.
It's a little bit hard, but
Oh, I lost my.
you're able to kind of slosh through, and you're still pretty tall. So it's,
I mean,
about
because like
just
I'm
over
6
waist
foot.
deep for you.
I'm like 6 foot
Okay.
2.
Oh, so she's 2 inches shorter
What?
than him.
I said I lost my dagger.
I got 3.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you later. I'm not talking about it.
All right, so this gaggle is in the water trying to get up the bank now, and
I'm on the bank.
Elset and oh yeah, you're in the water too. Never mind, just Sarah is actually out of the ravine.
Well, I'm
As she
technically
does.
like
How
on that
steep- how
small
steep
little
of an
bit that's
incline is
not
it?
in the water.
How steep of an
You
incline
decided
is
to
it?
come down.
What?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
steep of an incline is
Well, I
it?
was no, make sure that I'm not getting swept away.
Great. I have pitons or pitons.
Piton.
Piton.
Okay.
I have those.
I
Can I
have a
try
rope.
to-
Who needs help?
Can I try to make a?
These idiots.
You have a rope.
I have a rope.
Let's use a rope.
Okay. Here.
Okay. So you're tying it off to
Like
the trees.
everyone but you.
My body.
Needs help.
No, to whatever's close by a tree
Okay.
or a stump. Or...
I'm gonna go last.
Yeah, that'd be more
You guys
the
start getting
case.
addicted
You
to
just
skooma?
find a stump
Yeah.
sizable enough.
Injected.
Big stump that looks like it's been shorn by like wind force.
Go get like a
You're able to get your rope around it and tie that up well enough to get the rest up.
Carry it down into the dawn.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm gonna wait. Actually,
That's
give
Um,
it a minute.
You're all able to get up fairly easily between pushing and pulling.
I cast guidance on myself.
Just
in
do
case.
notice.
Kendra.
I let everybody else go first. I want to say that very blatantly. I let everybody else go first.
Yeah, I want to go first.
You do notice that the thralls have been starting to swarm at the bank, where Samael has been keeping them at bay from the
Are
far
they
side
trying
of
to
the
go
shore.
on the bridge, or are they just going down and then climbing?
They're
back
just
up?
trying to jump straight towards you all as you've been floundering in the water. Sam has been mostly focusing on blasting the ones out of the air that are nearest to you.
So let me get this straight real fast.
Done.
So that's happening at the top of the bank, and we're still at the bottom, and we have
the
to
river.
climb up this set of this rope.
It's on
that
the
was...
side that you came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were chasing Samael down that same side.
Okay, but we still have to climb up this rope that she let down for us to get from the bottom to the top on the other side.
Yes, on the other
Yes.
side.
Okay.
She made it across.
Yes. Okay.
We're all across.
But we need to get back up, right, and climb the rope back
Mhm.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
yes.
easy enough thing to do. I'm not gonna force a check on that
Oh, bummer.
between
Okay.
help on both sides.
She's like, I'm ready.
Helping everybody there together, like
Oh.
lifting,
It's like
hoisting,
Arbjorn-
pulling, and-
No, I was
I'll
gonna
set
turn into
Aurora
a spider
lifting.
and just climb up
Nice.
the sides.
Just do it
Anyways.
in your wild shape. Unless you want to just turn into a gecko on Asia's shoulder again.
No,
And you have the lever, right? So you have 3 of them.
I already used one.
Yeah, but then you
We haven't taken a long rest,
Mhm.
so I still have 2 more.
You could do it just to scare Sam, and then you'll still have 1 more just in case.
I don't want to
I mean,
scare
it's up
him
for
at
an
the
hour.
moment, since he's kind of keeping the thralls at bay.
Yeah, he's just kind of hovering over the far bank.
If it required an ability check, I was going to do it.
Okay.
But since
Throwing
it doesn't
out.
require an ability check, I'm just climbing.
Yes.
It's fine.
I'll be fine.
Let's push on.
Onwards!
Get on out of here.
So as you get to the other side,
My ominous music faded too.
Sam throws out a final fireball
Feels like a
and
soundtrack.
blows out the bridge, helps you gather up and untie your rope from the stump, and starts moving you all into the forest. We need to move. We need to go now. There are fucking grave singers on Oradon. It's not a good time.
Wait, what are grave singers?
We'll discuss it later when we've got some distance.
You can run and talk, can't you?
I like distance.
Distance is good. And he just sprints breakneck into the forest at a pace that you're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe talking wouldn't be so good at that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Follow
take
Sam.
I'm gonna take the
I
rear of the
follow.
column. With a little bit of distance in between us.
I'm
gonna
keeping
hang-
an eye on her again because I'm like,
I'm also gonna hang more towards the back.
After about a half hour of just running crash course into the woods, you all kind of finally pull off
Sticking
as
my staff
Sam
away.
like hangs off on the side of a tree, gasping for air.
Ran for half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
We
be
are-
dead in real life.
We are a little past
Yeah.
2
Good thing
hours.
your athletics is great.
Yeah, Alset's just gonna
It's a-
go die in a bush for a minute.
We are a little past 2 hours for the stream. I personally would like to take a small break.
We're gonna take a break in a minute here.
'Kay.
Yep.
Great.
I'm
I
watching
like it
the
better
time.
when it
Thank you,
happens
Evan.
naturally.
Love it.
Sam kind of okay. So that sucked. Grave singers. Tribal. They were a problem back in the Second Era. Reachmen that pull up dead from nature. They
Bloodthorn.
Yes, the Bloodthorn cultists. Great example. Horrible example. Great example of
Yeah,
grave singers.
I know this.
You fought them.
I told them this.
Oh,
You're a little
well,
weird.
then you're
Read
all
the
up
book.
to speed. Okay.
Can I sit down?
Yes.
Great.
I think that's enough distance for now. They shouldn't be able to follow us through that much jungle. Okay. Master Kenneth, can you help me consult the map, please? Things are a little bit fucky.
Oh yeah, then we'll look at the map.
Okay.
What's
Fucky, as you say.
What's fucking fucky on the map?
The map is fine. The course was a little bit altered, as it were, given our mad dash through the forests. Landmarks, right. I'll fly up, give you a quick lay of the land. And he shoots up a quick 120 feet in the air, comes back down. Okay. He provides you with enough information to figure out more or less where you are, provided a good skill check. Can I get a intelligence roll with proficiency?
Yeah. While this is going on, Argon's gonna move away from the group a little bit and kind of watch where we just came from.
Would this be a survival check at all?
Yes.
Cool, because I have advantage.
Actually, yeah, it would be a survival check, so never mind the wisdom.
Intelligence.
I don't know where I am. Give me a survival check, Kenneth.
16.
Okay. So yeah, pretty quickly, given his layout of the land, you're able to determine more or less within like easily a quarter mile of where you are on that map. Very accurate. And you also note that you're exactly 8 hours of walking to Alfaunest.
In what direction?
Your course ended up deviating a little bit further north. So it was like you guys were supposed to be kind of heading south-southwest, and you went mostly southwest.
Okay.
So you're going to be just deviating it a little bit southwards.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Oh, I know exactly where we're at. And we'll just head on down south and
We write it. The A name of the place. Alphonse.
Alfonso.
Alfonso.
Rodolfo. Rodolfo. He's got the great up about this day.
Just think elves are honest.
What?
No,
Have
they're
you
really
ever
not.
met an elf?
Place.
They're
Only a
not.
few.
A dark elf?
Alfaunest.
A It
high
is
elf?
a
Fair.
relatively new
Didn't he
thing.
just lie to
we
us?
we
like,
went over
yesterday?
it last time,
But he
and
told us that
you didn't quite jog the memory on it, and Sam said it was in your. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
So does this constitute a short rest or a long rest?
Depends on how
We
long
will
we
get to
sit.
that in a little bit. We're gonna take a quick break for now.
Cool.
We're gonna take a short rest.
Back real soon.
All right. We'll see you soon, friends.
There's a
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for bearing with us on that break. We needed it. I'm sure you needed it. If you're, anybody is still here.
Hey, I don't know. Want me to find out? I'll find out.
Professional guy doesn't know. It's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, just jump us right back in. You all just had a breakneck run through the forest, and we're deciding what to do. You got your bearing, headed almost directly due south towards Alfaunest.
Honestly, in my mind, I just feel like as long as I get close, I did good.
This is why we love you, Hunter.
C's pass.
They do.
I think it's before.
So yeah, it is. I'm gonna say heading on. Still pretty early in the afternoon, actually. Maybe 3 p.m. Exciting time of day, that 3 p.m.
No, I got cold. It's really cold out here.
Do you need to create bonfire?
Yeah.
Oh no, now I'm doing it in an hour and 20 minutes.
Now there's that
Go
heat
big
on the-
planes. What is happening?
Anyway.
back to the matter at hand.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, you guys are headed through the forest at a less frantic pace now. Traveling for a little bit. Can I get a quick marching order, please?
Arbjorn's in the back.
I'll
trailing
head
a
up
little
the
bit.
front.
I'm gonna be near Arbjorn.
I'll be near Aurora.
I'll be behind. I'll be second in command. Well,
So
I guess I'm like
Aurora.
dead center.
Dead center. Kenneth, what you doing?
I would still like to be taking trees.
Tarzaning it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Being Keelan. And
Flying up there with.
and yeah, maybe scouting ahead a little bit if possible.
Sure.
But within kind of not super yelling distance, but like, hey, like.
I'm
Yeah.
making sure I'm keeping an eye on him so I don't lose track and lead the party in the wrong direction.
Okay.
I'm
Both
also-
of you give me perception checks. Here's an advantage, Kenneth. Arbjorn, you give me a perception check.
So I'm keeping an eye behind.
16.
on the rear.
Was yours an advantage?
No.
You rolled a 7, not a 5.
16.
Perception for what? Why did we put her up?
Yeah, really.
She's the one who wanted to go.
So
I
if
thought
have
she was gonna hang out back with
proficiency in
me.
it, Do I
Arbjorn.
get to roll it twice?
What?
If I have proficiency.
No. It means you just add your +2 at this point for your proficiency bonus.
It should automatically be added if you're using D&D Beyond if you have proficiency in it.
Yep.
Okay, that's weird because it's okay, an 8.
8. Okay.
Holy shit, your wisdom is garbage.
She's got a 6.
You've lost track of Kenneth.
That's great.
Ah, fucking hell.
As you notice them, Kenneth, starting to detour a little bit too far southeast, you're able to come back and correct the line as you're heading onward through the trees.
I'm gonna put my hand on Aurora's shoulder and be like, maybe I should
Arbjorn?
take her
You don't see anything behind you.
Hold on.
Great.
Hold on. Wait, do I see her getting lost?
Yes.
I'm gonna hop down from the trees. And I'm gonna walk a little bit slower until she catches up, and then we're gonna go together in front.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a smart idea. I
What
got
happened?
lost
I'm
for
gonna
a
open my
couple
book
weeks
and
in
see
the
what
woods
happened to
one
that
time.
leaf that I pressed into the.
As you open the book, the leaf flutters out.
Aw. Is my book still blank?
Yep.
Can I see if there's can tap it, turn some pages?
Yeah, make an Arcana check for me.
It's a 16.
Still blank. Any particular spells that you put into it when you were pumping magic, or
She has. Well, she's using it as a spell book right now because
right?
she technically didn't need a spell book earlier. So she has Absorb Elements, Burning Hands, Earth Tremor, Featherfall, Fog Cloud, Ice Knife, Mage Armor, and Shield.
No, but I mean, did you throw any spells at the book as you were pumping some magic into it and tapping it?
Oh, can I do Toll the Dead?
On the book?
Sure. Okay. See if it does anything.
Roll for damage.
The D8 or D12?
D8.
It's a 4.
Okay.
What are you eating?
Ice.
Oh God.
You don't
Just
notice
chomping
anything.
away on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
loud.
Kind of annoying.
It's loud.
So, yeah,
I don't
nothing
know about
really happens with the book. The party
Right.
now in Canis, slightly more
Much more.
visual-oriented hands. He's able to guide them more strictly to a path.
Let's go this way. And
As I start to veer off to the wrong direction.
yeah, and you know, a lot of my hometown or my home village. Usually, when I meet girls, they don't really see home until much later. But you know, you're a special one.
You're being told this by somebody who's looking straight up at you.
No, he got down and he's on the.
Yeah, you know,
next.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
you're taller than me.
He's like 5 foot.
Yeah. He's a wood elf.
He's like, "Hey, baby." I am very confused by his advances.
Alright, but wait. You were also taller than those dwarves.
No,
They
they
were dwarves.
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 We just
It
called
was just
them
Snow White and
dwarves.
7 dwarves.
We just called it.
Oh.
They were actually going to. They're like
Snow
as tall
White
as
the
her.
Seven Nords.
Okay.
So they were like as tall as her, if not
No,
taller.
Snow White is Sarah Frost, obviously.
Can we
I don't know if she could
bring
handle
it back
Seven
in,
Nords.
Yeah.
please, and actually like continue the campaign?
Yes. So,
This is just me guiding us along and
Yeah.
saying
because
that to her.
you noticed Aurora kind of guiding off along and focused your attention on that, it takes a minute to catch up with you. Sam's gone again.
Oh,
Why does he do
I'm
that?
not surprising anymore.
Where is he? What? Is he just exploring himself? We don't need him.
I kind of enjoy the quiet.
You know,
I would too.
eventually I'm gonna get locate object. I'm just keep my eye on that hat.
Actually, I have pretty good tracking.
Are you gonna try and find him?
I mean, like, not that I care, but
If you're gonna
Really
go
pull up
and look for some prints on him, it would be a survival check.
I'll try.
That's not bad.
I'm gonna try it.
Can I assist her?
Are you proficient in it?
Yeah, are you proficient in it?
I am not.
I am.
I am. I will assist her.
Okay. Whoever's bonus is higher, roll at advantage.
What's your
Mine.
bonus?
He was. Oh yeah.
No, that's
Min-maxed druid.
Oh yeah, I've won.
Roll at
15?
advantage.
Mhm.
17.
15.
17.
Yeah,
You do notice
My
his
wisdom modifiers thing with one.
tracks kind of
+2, 3. So.
heading off a little bit, out winging around, and heading off at a much quicker pace.
Why does he keep abandoning us? He went that way.
You want to track him down?
Does anybody else want to come with to track down Samael, or do we just want to meet him at the ruin?
I kind of want to go to the ruin.
Meet him
If
at
he
the
feels
ruin.
like he knows where he's going.
Are you sure about that?
He keeps getting into trouble. Is my problem.
If
and
we-
then bringing trouble to us.
If we
Aren't we
don't
gonna
go
go
with him,
seek out
he's less
trouble,
likely to get eaten by the thralls.
Is he worth the trouble?
My
No.
contract says to protect you all and not Sam, so. But of course, we don't get paid if Sam's dead.
Oh no! The other dude is still alive, so we'll get our money.
I don't know. Remy seems like more of a dick than Sam.
I have sword.
Sam.
If
Remy's
Sam
trying.
dies, we might get his
Yeah,
boat.
I like
Mator wouldn't do Mator wouldn't do me like that.
Matar nearly killed you.
He told me I surprised him.
You just startled.
Surprise! Ah!
I'm gonna keep walking.
Okay, so another
I
4.
don't think he's worth the trouble, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna
but
keep
at least
following.
we know where he went, and we can ream him for it later.
Another 4 hours along your journey. No sign of Sam still. You press further into the jungle as sunset begins to take hold. The skies kind of turn a very bright shade of purple. There's hardly any cloud cover now. The forest's long shadows eke out around you, and it's finally interrupted by a plume of smoke on the horizon. It's just a little ways away across the canopy. No more than 10-15 minutes of walking to it.
I think we know where Sam is.
Can we smell it?
Make a perception check.
At some point before we saw the smoke, we only saw the beautiful sunset. I just would have just been like, ah, beautiful, isn't it?
Why'd you take it out of jail? Put it back.
What are you doing?
Put it back in dice jail.
You try to breathe in and get a whiff of what the fire's cooking, but all you're really getting is a pile of griffin dung about 20 feet away from you.
Griffin
roll-
dung.
Griffin dung.
A pile of
I'm gonna
griffin
roll for the
dogs.
same.
Can I move to that griffin dung?
Yeah, I
to
want
see
some
how fresh
griffin
that
dung.
is?
Make a survival check.
Great.
Ew.
Oh, that's an 18. Great.
I'll roll the same, smelling
Okay.
the smoke. Shit.
Griffin
you
dung.
know the
Five.
D20 again?
It's been doing so good.
Yeah, that griffin dung. It's really
Wow.
overpowering, guys.
Okay.
It's old.
Oh,
I want to look
Let's just
at
keep-
the smoke on the horizon. Is it like light like a controlled fire burn, or is it black like an out of control forest burn?
It looks like a controlled fire, like somebody's set up a campfire. A large one, but a campfire.
we're so mad at our dice.
While they're all doing this, I'm gonna start writing, describing the trees, describing the sky, the smoke, the dung, like all of it, just in the book.
Stop.
No,
The book.
I want
it
it
down.
back.
Put it down. What do you want back?
I'll put the book down and keep writing in it.
None of the words being absorbed.
Do we know what kind
Oh,
of
so
thing
like if
it's
I close it and
for?
open it,
Oh,
it
you say griffin dung.
Mhm.
stays
Yeah,
there?
it's old. I say we
That's
keep
old
marching
shit.
into the fire.
Yeah.
It's just a campfire. It's just a
Campfire.
But what if
Sam's
they're-
probably up there knowing him.
Can I roll perception to make sure there's no one around or
We
hiding
can.
or...
I don't want to
Take a
go anywhere near
perception
any
check.
elves.
I agree with the small one.
We can
Nine.
get
You're a
What?
small one too.
Alright.
Seems to be
Hide,
unoccupied.
My
That's
chest
you.
are so
I'm
good.
a
I don't know
fan.
why.
What does that mean?
No, you're
I'm
short.
not sure
What are you
if
doing?
they're
High elves are like them.
boy
They're
or
tall,
girl.
but they're dicks.
You're what?
The- all
No,
set.
those are D20s.
No.
There's so many to
Never mind.
Yes. This is why I look like your sister right now instead of a normal.
With the raised voices and dilly-dallying about near the border of this area, you hear, again, the familiar voice calling out through the woods. Well, are you all just going to stand around all evening? Or are you going to come and eat?
You gonna keep
Okay.
We're gonna
teaching us
eat
all night?
you.
You gonna give us some food?
We're
Well,
gonna
I
march
did
up into
make
the
it.
camp.
Yeah, Ardborn's just
Quit
gonna push
dishing
through and
us,
march
man.
into the camp.
Oh, well, hello.
So
It's set up with tents already. There's about 8 of them.
Where did
Oh,
you?
well,
how
fuck,
did you
we did.
carry all of those?
Magic.
Pockets.
Ardborn's gonna go to the head of one of the tents, stick his sword into the ground, put a shield on it, and just go in.
Well, he seems to be in a fine mood this evening.
Oh, there's one for each of us. Yay!
Oh, it's like I counted.
You know how to count?
I do.
Indeed, I do.
Sam,
That's
do you have
surprising.
any bits of like paper with information on them that you aren't really needing to hold on to?
What an odd thing to ask.
She's an
I
odd
just need
child.
some.
It's for women's more.
Sam,
I need some. I need
I
to
have a
test
question.
something.
Are these tents flammable?
What's going on? You're all acting very odd.
I just want to know.
I
You cast a lot of fireballs.
Should
She can create
think.
bonfires out of nothing, and I have candles and need to pray.
It's controlled fire. Yes, they're flammable, but it's not like a single spark's gonna set the whole thing.
Okay.
Candles are out of control.
Cast burning hands.
We're
to
also
light
on
the
edge.
candles.
It's been a rough day, okay?
I can tell. What happened down by the river?
I got
It's
bit in the neck
Bloodthorn.
by a fucking vine thing.
Oh, yes, the Bloodthorn thralls.
Yeah. Hurt a lot.
Yeah, a lot of help you were.
I blew up at least 60 of the damn things, thank you.
Yeah, he actually was kind of useful, unfortunately.
What did you do to get 60 of them after you?
I'll kick the hornet's nest. Proverbially. Look,
You seem to do that a lot.
it's a special talent, isn't it?
How are you still alive?
Skill. And
I
luck.
think it's them luck.
Lots of luck.
There's lots
But lots of
luck.
skill. As I was saying earlier, I mentioned it before I had to do a little bit of reconnaissance on my own without, well, any trace of anybody. I can't turn all of you invisible, just myself. The Bloodthorn cultists on this island. It's a proper invasion almost. You two, I've been doing some reading. You might be familiar with this actual level of incursion into Auradon. They've set up shop in Alfaunest. They're trying to... Yes. They found out about the weapon about the same time I did. It would seem. That, or they're much quicker than I am, which is also possible. I like to think not, but...
Oh, wow, you're so humble.
Is this the weapon that
That's convenient.
they were talking about last time that he was saying he needs the stones for?
The stones were a lie.
Can I roll for religion to intuit if this is part of why I was sent here? To see if like this is some sort of like calling for me to go and like take care of this
Okay, Dolly.
Bloodthorn
Yes.
threat.
This is the weapon that he mentioned as being a relic of the Three Banners War that was able to interact with time, become a conduit of Akatosh.
When did they mention?
Session 1.
There's a lot of.
I'm
there's a
gonna
lot of
write
jargon.
down a lot of that stuff too. I'm just writing stuff down at this point.
You can go back, watch Session 1, and pull stuff from it to write down for your character's knowledge.
Oh, I do have Alfaunest written
without
in here.
being meta knowledge.
Okay.
Just as, casual of,
That's fine.
conversation.
Well, I was more also writing down the Bloodthorn cultists in the book.
Yeah.
Why they're here. Stuff like that.
Oh, in Hermaeus Mora's book. Got it.
No, I'm meaning in character.
Got
Also,
it,
it's
got
just writing down as much information as she can at this point.
Argorn's gonna exit the tent, walk over to Sarah, wordlessly just hand her 3 daggers,
Just
I was
3 of them.
coming to see you, so.
and then just grunts in approval, and then walks over to the fire and just
Wait.
sits down.
Do you have any arrows?
No
Trying to make
arrows
some.
in the
I
knee.
have 3 daggers now, thank you. You're on my friend list. I don't have many friends.
Are you running low on arrows, dear?
Sorry, I gave you 4.
Yeah,
You
well,
need 4 daggers.
Yep.
Do-
a lot of
okay,
daggers.
you don't need any of them?
Nope.
Are you running low on arrows? My 2 bow slingers.
I have 18. So I beat
Get rid of stuff in here.
Alright, well, dinner is some sort of gazelle type thing. I don't know. Looks delicious.
Great.
Okay.
I'll eat.
I rolled a 16 for that religion check earlier.
There's no direct answer.
Okay. I'm gonna trust my belief.
You all, I get it, don't like me because of the little lie I fed you about the stones and the Pancratos wood and
Lie.
my involvement with the Alikiri. But this is, like I said, a test to make sure that A, no information would be getting leaked out about me to certain individuals, one of whom I killed, actually. So, kudos on you for that little treasure hunt. But also that I could make sure you wouldn't die in the forest without me. If I can't trust you even to go through some Thieves Guild sewers, then how could I in good faith bring you to a place as dangerous as this? With or without the Bloodthorn cult, this place is a bit of a nightmare sometimes. With them, well, Alfaunest is going to be quite the run.
I mean, alright, so, like, out of character, how he recruited us. Why did he recruit us specifically then without knowing anything about us or our skills prior to that?
It was more like wasn't it more like a kind of a bulletin that we all just responded to? That was like an all post, and we were the ones that were like, oh, and like you see it posted on the wall, like, hey, adventurers, come do this for money, and we're like, oh, sure, I'll go do that for money. And so we all met up at the tavern.
I was sent on a quest.
Same here.
I'll write down why you all joined.
That was all out of character.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're not doing it in character then, remember?
No, sorry.
Oh, well.
I'm used to responding to character. Ha!
Can we go back into character?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was literally discussing that
No,
question.
okay, no, I was just
Cool. Okay.
Look, it's going to be a long day tomorrow if we don't all trust each other. So,
Well,
I apologize if that's what you need to hear. If you need to hear something else, let me know.
we're all we have now where we are, and if we can't band together, then well, we'll be fighting each other as well as the Bloodthorn.
agreed. I look at Sam and go, I'll take first watch. Argon kind of gets up and goes out of the camp with a sword and shield and sits down in the dark.
Make sure not to pass more than 15 feet away from the perimeter of the tents. You'll trigger my alarm spells.
He stays within 10.
It's fun.
Well, I will be headed to bed. I've already had my dinner. You're all welcome to help yourselves to whatever sort of feasting you'd like. There's a bit of booze in the casks over there. Have fun, kids.
Oh, we will.
I'll be up for watching too, Arbjorn.
Agreed.
I'm going to help myself to Gazelle.
Do we need to
Does it
establish a
taste
watch
good?
order?
Yeah, please.
I'll
First.
take.
I'll
do-
go third.
I'll do last.
There need to be 3 watches in the night, and I suggest groups of 2.
You said Sam's with me in first one.
Oh, Sam went to bed.
He went to bed. He's going to get up for second watch.
Gotcha.
I'll stay up with Arbjorn.
I
For
guess I'll
first
keep
watch.
Sam company.
I'll take third watch.
Okay, third watch. Who else is on
Yeah.
third? Third?
Mhm.
Okay.
Up early.
So as you all kind of settle in, have your dinner, and then Arbjorn's watch begins with Sarah. I need you two to make perception checks for me.
You got this.
Why'd you have to say that?
I was talking to her.
5.
Oh no!
I'm so nervous.
She's terrified of the die.
We're all
She's
gonna
been
get.
to, like, this is like the 4th time.
We're all gonna die in our sleep.
8 plus 1, 9.
9. And what?
5. Oh man.
Ouch.
Your watch
Great.
seems to pass without incident.
Oh,
You
thank
motherfucker.
God.
Seems to. Seems to.
Well, nothing got within 15 feet of the tent, so that's the important part.
Up next is Sam and Aurora. Hello, dear.
Hello.
Good to be on watch. That was icy. He's so awkward.
Arbjorn's sleeping with his sword. Just kind of
Like a teddy bear.
You've lied many times. I grew up with a father as a diplomat. I know your type.
Oh, diplomats, Dalton.
Daddy
interesting.
issues.
Very interesting. I'm actually quite the farthest from them. I grew up myself on the borders of the Ashlands in Morrowind, and I'm actually an Ashlander myself. Spent some time there, and then went to Blacklight, where I studied under a Magister for some time. Teltani bastard. I hate them.
I try not to have prejudice against people or races.
Well, I'm Dunmer. I'm allowed to hate Dunmer. It's sort of a very Dunmer thing to do.
Know any nerdy red guards by chance, scholars?
A few, actually. I'm from Ellen here these days. What's his name? Or hers? I don't know.
His. Shit, I actually need to look up his name. Give me a moment. I wrote it down, sorry.
You should be. How dare you?
I know. Oh, crap, Dean. No.
Lame.
Should have done this on the break.
Wait, are you talking about... Oh, no, you're talking about the food.
His rolls.
Oh. Can I have a roll?
You're supposed to be looking at your character.
Oh, yes, Shion.
Shion?
Uh-huh.
Shion. Oh, bit of a squirrely lad, getting into trouble more than he ought to be, and bookish, but in a somewhat charming, ditzy way.
Yeah.
Yes, actually. I studied with him for a number of years.
You do?
Yes.
How long ago?
Oh, let's see. This was just before the Dragon Crisis broke out, so 3 years ago.
Do you know where he is now?
Oh, last I heard he was off to study some sort of dwarven ruins in Hammerfell. One of the old Dwemer upheavals round Hughesbane. Spelled H-E-W. Apostrophe S.
Interesting.
It's been buried in sand for a number of centuries up until he found an entrance just a little bit north of the old sword, but yeah. Seemed to be doing well enough for himself. A little distracted though, and apparently I see why.
What do you mean by that?
We'll figure it out.
I obviously, she knows. She's just asking him what he thinks.
He doesn't know that. Make a perception check.
Damn it. A 15.
Okay. Do you want to pump Sam for any more information on Shion, or?
Did he say why he left?
Well, like I said, he wanted to go and take a look at that Dwemer ruin. I'm horrible with the names. Bazarg or Bothams is for all I know. I will put some contacts out there to see what it is about this ruin he was so interested in.
That would be delightful.
Shion in Hughesbane. Why? He actually writes this out on a little strip of paper, and you see the words disappear as he writes them. Well, hopefully I'll be hearing back from somebody in the morning. Great. Is that it?
That's
Okay.
it.
As your watch goes on, and Sam kind of lets the conversation lull as you're wont to, speaking when you ask to, kind of deal. You don't hear anything, but you do see high above, silhouetted by the moon, the shape of 1, 2, 6, 18 griffins soaring almost into the stratosphere, way the hell up there, just tearing across the sky. And they're having a lot of fun about it, just kind of dipping and diving through the moonlight, playful fighting up above. At one point, a feather slowly twirls down and lands near your feet.
I pick up the feather.
Nothing else for the rest of the night. Your watch passes to 3rd.
Anything in my book disappear?
Zalzich and Alset are the ones up for watch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like talking.
Yeah. Want to write anything in the book?
Perception checks.
14.
11.
That is the highest perception I think you've ever
I know! I'm so happy!
I'm so proud!
I'm actually keeping a track of how many times I rolled a 0, and it's up to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
2 in a row.
And yours was 14?
Okay. Related.
Your watch, for the most part, also seems to pass without much trouble to it. And in the morning, you wake up. See that Sam's tent is not there.
Are we all awake now?
Yes. You're all kind of coming to at your own pace.
Long rest?
Long rest. Yeah.
Shake them all up.
Arbjorn is already in armor and ready to go.
I'm guessing no more arcane checks on the book.
You can make one more Arcana check.
Not one.
No clue.
Yeah.
Seems to be a very different object than the one you were flipping through all those years ago.
I feel like we should leave the tents here. It's a good rendezvous point. If we all get lost.
I mean, we still have to keep going to the ruins. How far are we, Kenneth?
How far are we?
It's about another 3 hours march.
Should probably take them with us.
So
Unless Sam intends on coming back and getting them.
He has magic. I'm not worried.
Pockets, apparently. I liked the tent.
Just leave it. I don't think it matters.
You don't need that extra carry weight.
I am carrying plate. I should put that back on.
Is there a sleeping bag in the tent, or were we just sitting on hard ground?
They were like cots, actually.
Fancy.
I mean,
Like
got
how
him here. He can find a way to get
was
him
it? Was it light?
Explain some
Anything, or was it
RP
like
rolls.
The material of the tent?
the cot? Like how?
Oh, it was like a wooden frame.
Oh,
so
like
pretty
full
heavy.
on, okay. I'm guessing. Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming if he wanted it, he would have taken it with him.
Well, Alsetmore just got a very comfy sleep, so she wanted to
You
see if
help
she
me
could
with
take
this?
Good for you.
Tight enough.
Yeah.
Can you move your arm?
Uh-huh.
Good. Arbjorn picks up your shield and kind of puts it in your arms. And I do a big
Oh,
old
I'm sorry.
smack on it.
Oh.
Get ready. We go kill shit.
I'm very happy I don't wear all
Okay.
that.
Kenneth, where to?
Free.
I like not being dead.
Yeah, I think he said south.
Yeah. He
Lead
did
on.
leave you with a map,
Okay.
so you know where you're headed. Has Alfaunest marked on it with relative
How far away are
landmarks.
3 hours.
Let's begin the march.
Let's go.
Spreading my hand behind me as I walk.
As usual, Arbjorn will take up the rear of the column, with some distance in front of the nearest person.
Okay.
Not
It's
really
a
paying attention to what order I'm in.
fairly uneventful march. As the day goes on, sun comes up, and the forest actually begins to recede a little bit into more of a grassland meadow where trees are sparser. And you can see now you're kind of on the top of a rise that peaks at mostly the center of the island, and it gives you a view of the sea out to either side. And if you squint really, really, really hard, or look through Candace's spyglass because you got one of those, you can actually see mainland Somerset from across the way to the west, from atop the middle of this line that you're walking down. It also affords you a view of the ruins that you're headed towards ahead of time. You notice a glossy white pillar in kind of the shadow of a valley below you. Looking down at it to the south of you, you can see a fairly sprawling complex that looks to have been very recently dug up, judging by the color of the soil around it. Within the past year or less, this thing has been told and excavated finally by looking at it magical means. Even from here, it's pretty obvious with just the way that the earth has been blown away from it. Compared to most of the Iliad ruins that dot the Somerset Isles, Alfaunest is large. The fact that it was buried for so long is surprising until you think about the amount of the hill that was blown away to finally expose it. You can see the telltale well of Varliance that is shining black. Normally, the wells of Varliance shine with a bluish-white light. Starlight is the magic that it holds, but this well, with its sweeping iron, even from here you can tell, is shimmering with dark energies. And you see twisted vines, large, thick, trunk-like, with horrible, gnarled roots, latching themselves up the spires of the normally austere white granite.
And all this is how far?
It's just below you, maybe 200 feet.
Oh, okay. For one day, I don't prepare for the fall.
It's like a sloping downward.
What are you? A wizard?
It's a downward sloping thing. You're 200 feet away. It's not a 200-foot dot.
Oh, okay.
Like it is pretty steep where the hill's been blown out for excavation, but otherwise it's kind of a sweeping plateaus that kind of, it's like, God, I don't know, plateaued steps almost that kind of ring around and downwards in a
Almost
spiral.
like a dig site at a mine.
Kind of,
mine.
yeah.
I could see that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that section where the excavation has been blown out is like a quarry.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the hill is this very natural grade.
Like an lofts or something. Check to see if I can see Sam anywhere amongst all of this.
I am a perception check.
I'm gonna scan for any visible bad guys.
I think that's a 12. Double check. Yeah.
12? Given the fact that he's not trying to hide himself, it is actually fairly easy. You look out across kind of further along this ridge line that you're walking across the top of, and you can see him perched atop a boulder looking downwards into Alfaunest. And he kind of looks up at you all, sees you coming, gives a little wave with his sword, and then jumps and slowly falls down towards the city.
Guess we should follow suit.
I guess so.
Yep. Onward we go.
Start descending.
Okay. You arrive in what was essentially the courtyard. You're surrounded by these massive marble pillars. Incredibly well preserved, this stone is. Even the statues still have intricate detailing on them of the Heartland High Elf winged helms, the very eagle-like motifs to their armor.
one of the statues as the relief of a man holding a massive greatsword out with its tip resting on the edge. He has a very stern expression, and normally where you see eagles emblazoned on the coat of arms, this man has a tree upon his breastplate.
Roll history or religion to see if it's anything that I recognize as far as like Kinnereth specifically.
Be history.
Could I try and do that too?
I'm gonna keep an eye out for.
What is he
bad
doing?
guys.
12.
What's he doing?
Samael or the statue?
Sam.
Sam just jumped down into the city, and you haven't
Okay.
seen him yet.
Gotcha. I mean, he's always just fucking off doing shit. So.
And then I'm gonna be scanning to see if I see any bad guys kicking around.
Okay, perception check. What was yours?
12.
24.
24? Okay. So based on history, you know that Aliens did not worship the Aedra. They were Daedra worshippers. Primarily, they were organized into city-states, and those city-states were based on the Daedric lord that they worshipped. This motif, however, is very odd. And Asia, I will say that your instincts does point fairly strongly, like you were thinking, to some aspect of Kine. Not Kinnereth.
Right.
That is specifically the Imperial God, a younger version, but to Kine, a more battle matronly figure.
How do you feel about this, Mora?
Rolled an 18.
Did you not?
For your perception check?
Yes.
Okay. You see
Just leave it
Samael
somewhere.
running along kind of the marble ledges, darting through pillars and just scribbling furiously in a notebook. You also notice that he's wearing armor, finally. You've never seen him wear armor up to this point, but now he is dressed for it.
This is Sam?
Samael, yeah. And he is just writing in this notebook at crazy speeds as he's sprinting pillar to pillar. Don't know what he's noting, but seems to be interested.
I see Sam. He's darting from pillar to pillar, writing stuff down in a journal.
I'll write that
He's
down.
also-
Who uncovered these ruins in the first place if Sam is just getting here now?
Also, note, he's wearing armor.
Sam is wearing armor.
That's
Sam is wearing armor. We're starting from ruin to ruin, writing shit down.
Pillar.
Can hand him a mace.
To answer your question, Arcia dear, it was the Thalmor that blew this place out from under a hill. He's now like directly above you guys, kind of
Blew it out
squatted down.
magically?
Well, yes,
By
how
accident?
else?
On purpose?
Probably purposefully. The Thalmor don't usually act without purpose.
Kind of want to bury
Right.
this place now.
Well, we have a job to do.
I'm sure they want to bury it too. This is incredible. Aliens that were worshipping Kinnereth. Or Kine. I can't tell yet.
I would guess Kine.
You think Kine? Excellent.
Well, if they want it gone, never mind. Let's explore.
Now, who's good with lockpicks?
Not
We
me.
discovered none of us.
What would that be under?
Trying to get into the Thieves
Sleight of hand.
Guild, remember? That
Oh,
whole
that's
scenario?
right. That whole debacle.
Yeah, probably you, Sam.
Probably me.
you.
All right. Well, I'll try the skylight.
I have a +4.
Or
on
me, I
sleight
did
of hand.
manage to
Skylight.
pick it with
Is there a
Do
front
you have
door?
a thieves
whatever the fuck I
kit
did.
though?
That's
Thieves
true.
tools kit?
Did you get like a natural 20?
He
'Cause
strolls
you would
down
need lockpicks
into.
to be able to do it.
Tinder pro?
No.
No.
It's
He
not
strolls
like
down
a
into the
skill.
courtyard and shows you the skylight that he mentioned. And it's actually the well of Varlians with the shining black lights. Now, see, these things, this
is a star well. The Aliens, they used to power their entire city based on starlight magic. They would set up these little receptors here and pull in at night, every night, enough power to operate a city. Their doors could swing open on magic hinges, just like the Dwemer and the steam tech could do. The Aliens did with starlight and conductive channels directed by Vala and Welkenstones. This one's, well, broken.
I can tell.
Yeah, that white should be the purest white that you've ever seen, and it's, well, black. It looks like almost a little black hole floating some 3 feet above the ground in this well.
Like Vanta Black or whatever.
As more like there's like an event horizon to it almost.
I don't have that. Damn.
The alternative option is if anybody can tunnel in a little bit more without explosions. No explosions. I do love a good explosion fest, but let's not blow out the bedrock and collapse
tunnel
tunnels.
in.
Well, see, the door is up that way, just a little bit ways up, and it will lead to generally a vertical stair column, but it's, well,
Do you
locked
think-
off.
By what?
I'm guessing move Earth.
Starlight power.
Couldn't do it enough.
Possibly. It is possible that you could dig through with that, yes. Mostly large rocks and mud and, well, the bramblies are actually growing from it.
Not the mean bramblies, just regular bramblies?
Well, you remember those things we were fighting yesterday?
Yes.
Telltale sign, those big black thorns that are like, you look up and the front gates of the area, not the place he was mentioning, the front gates are like absolutely exploded out. Like you can see the 2 marble slabs of the doors on the ground before it, but a huge mass, like probably 15, 20 feet in diameter of just twisted, gnarled brambles of, huge roots that are just jagged with thorns splittering out from the front doors. And it kind of curves up a ways towards that other area that Sam was pointing towards.
So should I try and excavate it?
Is there any other entrance?
Well, like I said, there's the skylight here, but that's a good... He kind of pokes his head in and looks down the well. I can't tell. It's actually pitch black down there.
I'm gonna use a light cantrip and find something nearby to drop.
Okay.
Good idea.
Steal the bug.
Pebble.
As you approach, Sam kind of puts his hand over your wrist. Very carefully, Orsia, dear. I don't want you touching that,
Blackness?
thatness. Yes.
Well, I'll just enchant it and somebody else should do it because I'm kind of clumsy. And by kind of, I mean very.
Nervous even to touch it with my mage hand, but here we go. A spectral hand grabs the rock from you and floats underneath very carefully. Just manages to graze underneath because there's not a lot of space between like the sweeping of the iron grates that like conduct the starlight towards where the horizon is, and it drops the rock down and Sam kind of angles over.
That's bad. That's really bad.
That's not smooth.
And loud.
So probably too far down to climb.
Very far.
I don't think I have enough rope for that. No.
Does anyone else have rope?
We
Give
all
it a
should
day
have
and I
rope.
can
Yeah.
jump down.
We all should have 50
What if we
feet of
combine
rope.
our
I don't
rope?
I don't have
Climb
rope.
down.
I choose the one.
The problem is
Rope.
coming
Do you
back.
think- So you said there's a door, but the door's locked.
Not really a door anymore, more brambles.
That one I can't get through. This one needs to be excavated up at the top. I mean, if you think you can safely burn away that much, you are far beyond anything I'm capable of. And the skylight, well, like I said, there's a problem with it, and I don't want to know what happens when anybody touches it. I mean, I'm dying to find out, really.
Should we
But-
throw my
Can
book
someone
at
do
it?
a magic check on the?
Throw the book at it.
light?
Do it. Throw the book at it, please.
Do you have detect magic?
No, but I do have really good Arcana check.
Yeah, I
You
did
should
not.
figure out what that light
I
is.
did not
so we
prepare
know.
No, but
spells
detect
at the top of the
magic
day for
actually
this.
like gives you like School of Arcana
Ex-
and all
yeah,
that
exactly, yeah.
special stuff.
If
so.
it would harm us or not is what
I
I'm
literally got
curious
rid of
about.
it.
I have protection from good and evil.
I have a sword.
What is protection of good and evil?
You can get
Protects
your name
against
like a Daedra or something.
types of creatures.
Just is that a personal
But
effect or is that?
It's one person. That's all I can do.
I really want to climb down that well.
How thick are the brambles?
I mean, each individual one is probably almost a foot in diameter.
Right. So in the middle of this conversation, Aragorn takes out a hand axe and just starts going to town.
I follow suit with
Roll
him.
strength.
Oh.
There's like 15 feet worth of these 1 foot diameter
Probably gonna be here
brambles.
all day.
Yeah,
That's a 19.
I
I'll
start to
let them
help
do
him.
that.
Okay.
I just figured more. Any kind of progress is progress.
They're doing that. I'll do something.
What about Mold Earth?
I have more there.
I'd be 19.
Both 19.
I don't have a big sword.
Your axes hit and then skitter across the side almost like you hit pure obsidian.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think this is gonna work.
I don't have detect magic.
These are big
I
brambles.
As much as I want it.
don't have to take magic.
Cat.
How I don't have it.
Cat.
Explain
You
the
gotta give
well
us a
to me
day.
one more time. The way that it kind of looks. You said that.
So yeah, it's like a stone basin in a circle, and then there's these iron grates that sweep kind of upward like this in a circle around it. There are 4 main ones that are larger than the rest, and they have kind of like this small vein of blue crystal-like stone running through them.
Okay.
And Samael is explaining it to you now. Basically, the way that it works is starlight filters down into these. This is Welkin stone that laces with the iron, and this is
Okay.
too much.
A little bit.
Sorry.
Stupidly magical.
I was thinking more along the lines of like when his mage hand went in, where did it go through?
It passed just under the. Basically, there's a small hole, probably about 6-inch diameter that can fit between the iron bars at the top. So like they don't all close off. There may be only about an inch of separation between each of them,
Okay.
and then there's about a 3-inch lift
Okay.
before the black hole over the iron, the tips of the iron.
So it wouldn't be safe to touch entirely, or is that black iron grossness that he doesn't want us to touch kind of hovering, or is it like fully?
The
everywhere?
black starlight, the Varliance, normally it like shimmers white above, and that's where it is. So it's a black hole above the iron.
So you can safely pass
So we
underneath
could
of it.
fit underneath it.
So it's like
If I were
Sorry.
to wild shape into a spider,
Yes.
could I fit underneath and start crawling down the side of the well?
yes.
There we go.
I'm going to do that. And it gives me 30 feet of dark vision.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, having
Okay,
pictures
I
or
am-
diagrams
with
would probably
that.
be the most beneficial for these
Exhausted.
circumstances.
It is 10:30 and I work early tomorrow. I ran out of patience at the break. I'm sorry.
Yo, you're not the only one.
That's fair.
Well, are we feeling done for the day then, and we will continue getting into?
Yes.
No,
It's a
I
good
mean,
stop
you're not the
point.
only one that works early and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, my brain is having trouble wrapping around everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Nice
it's
thing
too much
is
to
hey,
handle
this
right
is
now.
recorded, and if we want to go back and rewatch all of
Yeah.
the description
Cool.
of the ruin, so that we have a better idea of what we are working with and what we are dealing with for the next session, that helps us out. Feel like.
Since most of you guys live far away, do we want to make it till 10 o'clock instead?
We'd have to start earlier.
Yeah.
Honestly, like to get everything done that we need to get done, we'd have to start earlier and then end earlier.
These are things we can
Which
discuss
I'm cool
once
with
the
doing,
stream is
but
done.
I know
Logistics for
that
us.
some of us can't really dedicate.
Hold on, babe. We'll talk about it later.
Sorry.
Signing
So,
off.
let's
Thank you
wrap
guys
up.
so much for joining us.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
It's a pleasure to have you all. Thank you for those of you who are watching this later on and catching up and seeing what's going on with this. Hopefully we see you next time. So with that, dear friends, stay safe out there and be kind to one another. Bye.
Just say be kind.
Be kind to one another.